Peace. What up, though? Turn that one time. Oh, whoa. What, brother? Okay, hold on, man. Time out, niggas. Time out. Neezy Warrior coming in heavy. Neezy Warrior say this gonna be, nigga. I demand it be a good show today. God damn it, let me like my Paleo Santos. Let me like my Paleo Santo. What my shit is? Come here, bitch. Come here, you bitch, you. Hey, y'all, I'm back on Cash App too, man. Got a new Cash App, man. BCU Chief 21. Finally. Since November. God damn. Since November. Shit, we on the way into March. But we back on, man. Like a light switch. Man, we got a good show today. I got some good news, too, that you can use. AC, though, what up, though, man? H-Town in the building. Southside still holding, man. Wineberry over gold. You feel me? Wineberry over gold. Reflection off the is a tilt the bumper kit. Holding that 9. Gotta protect mine. 16 times if they want to bump and grind. Hot pop the top and let the sun come in. Hold up. Yeah. Say, man, hot pop the top and let the sun come in. Man, shout out to Rod Hayes, man. So, y'all know the other day, me, Dane, Talik, we was in here building, and we like, yeah, Big Meek 260 say everybody hit the like button. Sean said, I told you. You told me what? What happened? Sean, look at JJ. JJ. JJ said, I got that 200 right now. Come on with it. Y'all shoot it over here. Hey, look, Jay. Shout out to JJ, man. Look out. I'm a man of my word, fam. I told you I'd do it if I had a way. So we have a way now. So that's the Cash App. If you look on the bottom of the screen, go on send the 200. But in the joint, put your name that you signed up. You got to make sure you signed up to the site, to BigChiefUniversity.com. Make sure you sign up. Give me the email and the name. When you Cash App me, send me your email and your name, your username. And I'm a man of my word, and I got you. Lucky, boy, you got lucky, nigga, because you said I'm finna go scrape up a couple more dollars. But yeah, Ancestral say, nigga, don't worry about it. We gonna pay for the rest. So it's all love. Who that? Somebody show love. Who that? Top Trap in the building. 2 Trap, my fault. Shit, if you ain't trap, kill yourself. He say OCO in the real Indian way. Sean say, Black Magic looking for you. Oh, that what you said. Congratulations. He say, Black Magic looking for you. Man, on some real shit. Marcus say he banned for life. Nigga, listen. This what I said, because I was banned. Nigga, them I was banned my business account even. I couldn't even get a personal account. Nigga, I had to go through the back door. If Africans can get Cash App, nigga, I said, nigga, I know it's a way I can get one, nigga. These motherfucking Africans overseas, nigga, it's a way to play. And nigga, I'm Mr. Catch a Play. I'm Mr. Catch a Play, nigga. I'm something gonna shake around this hoe, nigga. Some gotta shake, nigga. I'm a bake a cake, nigga. Run with all the real niggas, jack all the fake niggas. Y'all know how it go. Y'all know time it is, man. What he say, nigga? Need to say I'm banned for life too. Man, don't think that. I thought that. Shit, nigga, you better get some willpower around this motherfucker. Shit, some got a shake, nigga. I'm gonna bake a cake, nigga. Run with all the real niggas, jack all the fake niggas. All right, go back to work, Neezy. With your shy ass. Talk all that shit on the internet, Neezy. Oh, fine ass big chief with your big old fine ass nigga. You look, you're fine in person ass nigga. And then when I see her, she over there quiet in the church mouse. Quiet in the church mouth. He said, BCU need his own cash out. Man, them hoes took it. We had it. Man, I put a business bank account, a business cash. Man, them hoes took that over in like a week. Dozy said, yeah, Rod trying to get in touch with you. He said, Black Magic trying to get you on the channel, bro. God damn, y'all niggas gonna make me come on out with it. I can't even I can't even warm the show up. Okay, all right, fuck it. Since everybody already know, I'm asleep. Boom, I fall asleep because I'm finishing my book. I already got one finished. I already have one finished. I'm working on this other one. I'm real far in it. I fall asleep. Boom, I wake up. Man, I'm getting so many messages. Hey, look out, fam. Rich and Ryan Hayes looking for you. Looking for me. Damn, what I do? I'm trying to think if I smoke somebody like, man, they trying to get up with you. One of the homies sent me a time stamp. Boom, I go to it. You know, hold on. I guess we'll play it. Hold on. I guess we'll play it. But we're going to go through the bill because they kicking some Indian information. So we'll go through the bill. All right, so yeah, we'll just go there first real quick, and then we're going to get into the bill. Need you warrior and double back a couple times. Love you, TOPCATZ. I love you more, little bitty pretty ass. I was making money on live at the homecoming. She said I had a swimsuit in the car too. I come over there, I jump on the live. I'm like, hey, I can say what's up. And Neezy, your little ass gonna let me tell them people what's up. I didn't know there was a whole bunch of goddamn horny ass men on there. You know, you could have fucked the bag up that night. If I would have knew what you had going on, I would have got on your ass. Don't you ever let no nigga let them see you with no another nigga on here. Man, do you know how many people, them women, they be having them fans only account, and soon as they post on their Instagram or something, them with another nigga, it could be their brother. Yeah, do you know them niggas go take yeah, they ain't subscribed, they go unsubscribe from that shit. If you're in the game, never let no other man see you with no other man. I'm telling you that's free game. That nigga ain't never gonna feel the same. Cause right now he think y'all together. Yeah, he think you in the motherfucker, y'all in the motherfucking relationship. Don't ever do no shit. I thought it was some Indians on there or something. I'm like, what's up? What's happening? What we doing, man? Popeye. Big Indian shit. Nah, nigga, they trying to fuck something. Nigga over there jacking off. That nigga got an LED light on in the dark with a bottle of blue magic. That nigga trying to get his dick. That nigga trying to get his rocks off. And I'm out of the motherfucking camera talking about, what's up, nigga? Goddamn, nigga, big Indian. Nigga, pull up. It ain't even that type of party. I didn't know. Brandon say, Tabernacle Church. Round this motherfucker say, man, let me get this down and watch how we coming. So, yeah. They sent me the time stamp, but we're going to go through because it was actually a good build. And we're going to check them out. And then I'll tell y'all, because I talked to them today. I talked to both of them today. And, man, it's been a long time coming. But this was it.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to, let's get to, let me see. Hold up now,
While you doing that, this is for the crowd. If y'all watching, anybody know how to get in touch with Legendary Topcatz, tell them to holler at the chief. I need to holler at him. I'm trying to get him to do some record keeping folks.
Indeed.
Or read some records for us.
Indeed. Yeah. Holler at TOPCATZ. I'm trying to get in touch with the brother as well. Definitely holler at the brother. Somebody said Shin.
Yeah, for sure that. So, boom. Now I changed my number. And so I hit today, Ride answer the phone. I'm like, what's up? This nephew, this TOPCATZ. Oh, what's up, man? I'm looking for you. Like, yeah, you know, everybody been getting at me, man. They say you trying to holler at me. He like, I ain't even gonna tell y'all the topic. But he like, man, I got something for you. He asked me to do it, but I told him I got somebody who gonna go all the way in on it, break it all the way down. He said, you gotta get the one and only. His word, not mine. The one and only Legendary TOPCATZ. So he said, check it out. I'm finna hit him on 3-way. Boom, he hit Rich. He said, let's see if he pick up. So he clicked back over. He like, man, guess who I got on the phone? Rich like, who that? He said, I got the one and only Legendary TOPCATZ. What's up, brother, man? I've been trying to get in touch with you. I've been hearing your name for a long time, you know, and I want to work. I'm sitting here like, nigga, I've been watching your shit since like 2013, nigga. You ready to work? And then he told me the topic. I'm like, oh, nigga, I freestyle this shit. So it's going up. I ain't even gonna tell y'all the date. He gave me the date or whatever. He gonna hit me tomorrow. We gonna holler. I'll keep y'all informed. We definitely coming over there. I definitely need to hold you in that bitch. All the Jaguars, all the Indians. We come through that whole stepping. It's a new day. It's a new era. And he said something. I'll let y'all hit the bill, see the bill. We just gonna go through the bill. But man, shout out to everybody that been supporting me, believing in the nigga game. You know, we came a long way. Pushed real hard, you know, not to get in position, just chasing greatness, you know, just trying to fulfill, you know, that covenant I told my auntie I was gonna do. She said, if you don't do it in your life, if I don't do it in my lifetime, you're gonna see it in your lifetime. You don't see it in your lifetime, and your daughter gonna see it in hers. And so, yeah, I just stay focused on it, you know, trying to get it right so I can bring it back to auntie. Never would have thought, nigga, we'll be here pushing the line, especially for this new generation, this you know, this new cycle, new era that we in, which is gonna hold for the next 2,000 years. So, and we spearheading it, nigga, to you. Bars, nigga, big Indian shit, nigga. But we can go and get into the bill. We ain't even gotta wait. TP2 live, man. Real niggas in the building, man. For sure that. And then Ryan say this here. Ryan say, Rich, take his number down. Ryan say, Rich, take his number down. Cause I guarantee you this ain't gonna be the only conversation. I can see it now. You get that nigga on there, this ain't gonna be the only conversation. You gonna fall in love with the nigga. Bars. Dimples the Jaguar. So it used to be Dimples the Lion or some shit like that. Now she's a goddamn Jaguar on demon time. She not trying to hit from Jersey to Carolina, goddamn it. Big Indian. All right, let's get into the bill, man, on this reclassification. And I'm gonna show y'all something that Rich said. Now we seen 19 Keys, right? 19 Keys a couple weeks ago came out and say, was Pan-Africanism a psyop? Did they play on us? And we sitting over here like, Say, Key say that they play on us, fam. Fam, they played on us. Nigga done us dirty. Nah, fam. You know you can't even punch or kick a nigga while he on the ground. Fam, them hoes kicked us and everything while we was on the ground, man. Got our clothes dirty. Nah, we need our action back, fam. Run that shit back. Run it back. Shout out to the Moors. The Moors been holding the American story this long, but they have never been able to galvanize the people in the way in which we did. Without us, it would be no success with FBA. Can we keep it gangster? Because FBA didn't have the American history. They didn't have the understanding on what it meant and the power that you had, you possess when you representing for the ground that your ass come from and that you standing on top of. There'd be no FBA without this Indian shit. Period. There would be no freedmen, my children. Yeah, I busted nut and had them niggas. I busted nut and had the freedmen. Wouldn't be none of this shit without this Indian gang, nigga. And this Indian gang that don't bang or get your bitch ass bang, nigga. And BCU Shrug said that, nigga, I'd have bumped him. All right, let's walk. Okay, they had this coming from the Garden Fest, so they just had an event. They had an event, right? Now check out Rich. Check out what Rich say.
All right, and we are live. We are live. Yo, Rod, I gotta send you that Godfest video, man, so you can check it out, man.
You know, I was gonna tell you before we get started to get a people's an update on the happening from the Godfest.
Oh man, it was amazing, family. It's on Patreon
Luke
now
Cheney.
For the family who are interested. Let me
Luke
show you all
in the motherfucking building
behind the scenes before me and Rod get this thing started. Hold up. So this is Myra. Myra's doing that thing.
You guys remember the movie Black Panther?
Y'all check out. Do y'all remember the movie Black Panther? Watch what they saying now.
I had a problem with Black Panther.
Yeah, and we did too, mama. We had a problem with Black Panther.
Check this out.
They took Wakanda and they took it to Africa. Not about Africa.
Woo!
Wakanda Springs sits on the border of Kansas. It was the fountain of youth that Ponce de Leon was looking for.
That's my yeah, we was getting busy. But y'all gotta go to page.
We open in contribution. We have the ultimate.
Fuck that, nigga. What Tree said? Tree, we need a movie night. We ordering that motherfucker. We need a movie night. Them niggas in there talking about top popping that American shit. You feel me? They in there popping that American talk, man. Trees, we need a BCU movie night. We going to go get it. It's on Patreon. I don't give a fuck how much it costs, nigga. We want it. And yeah, we finna go watch it. Yeah. It hit a little different when I say, man, you can't turn a corner. And they ain't talking about America. That's why I told Dane the other day. I said, man, I roam. I'm a Rome. Nobody better not act like they got a name. I don't care, nigga. If you ain't banging Indian, you better not act like you got a name. You better not be getting no motion. I'm socking your lights out, fam. You gonna have to look at me. And I know you niggas don't want to do that. Square business. What Big Mama say? I had a problem with Black Panther. They tried to Africanize it, and it's from America. Are they waking up or are we tripping? I bet ain't nobody calling saying we tripping no more.
Yeah.
Hold on. I want y'all to hear these bars. Watch these bars he spit.
Land is sovereign to them.
Went off
when the Saints come marching in. New Orleans is technically below sea level, so it's no surprise if you see devils on a ride during Marty Gras or late night on a party bus. He can hardly rush. He takes his time. He waiting on you tardy fucks to play catch up. You could catch him in green rooms, blowing smoke like steam rooms, patiently waiting like he next up, snowing Molly up. When the Saints come marching.
Rod, you hear that shit, Rod?
Yeah, boy, the wordplay. Feel they playing.
Blue
That
Wallace
Blue?
shit.
Yeah, that's
Turn
Blue.
up. Blue always show
Yo,
love.
it was
And
so
for
good.
whatever reason,
Boy, Billy up
when
there.
his intuition, and I've been rocking with the brother for years.
They got Billy Carson in there. They got some hitters in there. Next year, guess who gonna be in there? BCU. Guess who gonna be up there? BCU. Guess who gonna be up there next year? BCU.
We've done a lot of great things together. So shout out to Richard Merritt, aka BLACKMAGIK363.
Yeah, Billy. Erin, the sister Erin Lyons up there, one of the illest channelers.
Now your inner
out there.
child.
She was doing her
She
thing.
the truth. She the truth. She's the definite
God,
truth.
his name.
I done watched her.
Jamie.
And
Stop, you know, people in their gloves.
yeah, but make sure y'all head over to Patreon. I pinned the link.
Dr. Be serious about that love divine, don't he?
I gotta give it
Oh,
to
yeah,
Chris.
oh,
We
yeah.
need that. We doing a BCU movie night. We need that.
But man, Rod, welcome back to the platform, Rod.
Sweetie.
Welcome back.
Good to be here, Rich. Good to be here. Today we talk about paper genocide, right?
Yeah. So what? All right. So I wasn't even gonna have this show tonight, family. Originally my intentions was to have another show, but I ended up calling Rod Hayes earlier about something personal. I wanted to ask Rod a question. I was doing ancestry. I was digging up my ancestry, looking up some. I think my sister had looked something up on Ancestry.com, one of them sites, and I was looking at the birth certificate of my great grandmother.
Y'all hear that? Genealogy. Rich on that genealogy tip. Rich say he going through genealogy. Bro, let's clap it up. Let's clap it up, bro. Fam, they thought we was crazy. They running around here telling us we crazy. Our people, been lying to us, and our grandma and them celebrate white Jesus. They've been telling us we crazy. Now everybody looking, and once they go looking, I always said it. Once you go home, you ain't gonna want to come back outside. So Rich on this genealogy tip, and guess what he find out?
And my folks is from South Carolina.
Land of the Gullah Geechee.
Yeah, Branchville, South Carolina. And I noticed on the certificate, her husband said colored when it said race, and her race said Negro. So I was talking to my sister. I was like, well, why is it colored and Negro? Why isn't both of them colored or both of them Negro? Why is one? What the hell is the difference in 18 something about colored and Negro? So I called Rod Hayes, and he started chopping it up with me about paper genocide and all of that. And we got into a real good conversation. I was like, Rod, man, we might as well have a show tonight. So that's how we got here. And it's a deep conversation. It's a conversation that is gaining more and more popularity as we remember who we are as it pertains to this land. And Rod Hayes, man, let's have this conversation in front of the people. In terms of, like, I was telling you about the birth certificate, and I was telling you about the Negro and the color, and you was telling me about the paper genocide. What exactly do you mean out there for those who may not be aware?
Well, the paper genocide it's been going on since they've been here. But the reclassification of us on paper to not be native, to not be natural to the land is the goal of the paper genocide. So they did things that changed who we were on paper so that in the future they can say we somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to disassociate us from the land. We got to keep that at the forefront of our minds when we study in the African slave narrative, the invasion of Europe into the Americas. We got to always keep in front of the forefront of our mind that everything they finna do after 1492 was to make the people from the land mentally, psychologically disassociate from the land.
Yes.
And the side effect of that is you denying your spirituality, your natural spirituality. Because your natural spirituality springs from the things that you do on your
Time out, y'all. I'm not gonna be stopping the show. I want this to go through. But get on the like button. Shout out to the brother Darren. Darren say, why y'all ain't hitting the like button? 334 watching, only 218. So that means we under 100. We under 100 likes, y'all. Let's get the likes up. Let's share the videos. I get it to y'all TikTok, Instagram, social medias. Share it to your YouTube. Say, bro, you get on Black Magic channel. That's going to be major. It's done. I talked to him today. I got his number. He got my number. Rich, I'm talking about Black Magic. And he ready to talk. You see, he say funny people in South Carolina. So I ain't got to tell y'all too much on what the conversation going to be on. But like Ryan Hayes said, Rich, take his number. This is not going to be the only conversation y'all going to have. I promise you're going to fall in love with this guy, with this dude. D, what call me? D, one and only legendary top cat. Let's turn it up.
Land. We don't claim the land. We say we belong to this land. The land don't belong to us. That's why we can't sell it. In the paper genocide, they was, using war machine to push us back further and further west until they got Spanish pushing back to the east. We got the French stuck in the middle, and what we call the Louisiana Territory, that was all of Canada and everything west of Appalachia, east of the Rockies, down into the New Orleans capital of the empire at the time. We didn't do intake on the coast board, the Eastern Coast Board, until after we were fighting what we called a two-tier war, collateral attack of French and Spanish forces. The French was called Huguenots. The Spanish were called conquistadors, but the English was called the gentry. So they went to King George because we was fighting French in the Louisiana Territory, Spanish in the Florida Territory. So what ended up happening was they put Georgia as a military buffer zone of gentry. So they put the English between the Spanish and the French while we were fighting. In order to, but when the French lost, they had to leave. But they sent us back a gift called the Statue of Liberty, a drag queen.
The whole world comes
right.
Around.
So now that they got this military buffer zone, they have to bulldoze the people out of that area to set up a military barricades, which became later cities. Atlanta is ancient. Facts. Savannah is ancient. Facts. But a lot of the lesser cities throughout Georgia were military outposts before they was incorporated as cities. And that was to put there to stop the assistance in the Gullah Wars of the rest of the tribes that was marching in coming from the west.
50 balls.
That's how come they knew how the French lost. So now the English and the Spanish is the only ones left. The Spanish decided to take Mexico, which then consisted of Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, California, Arizona, and I think Nevada and parts of, I think, Utah. It was one of them, either Utah or
both.
Either Utah or Colorado. Both. But they won it in the Mesoamerican War agreement between, now remember, these treaties has nothing to do with us. We didn't sign no treaties with these people. They signed in the treaties with each other, the French, the Spanish, and the English. But they telling us that these treaties is the governing instruments of law to our land. These treaties don't have nothing to do with us. There's no little river running because we use names that are related to nature. Right? There is no sunset over the mountain. There ain't none of them names in none of the treaties. They got Chief John Smith. Who the hell made him the chief? Because it wasn't no John Smith chiefs over here yet. Because we wasn't using European names yet. So when they doing all of these treaties, so they Mexico ceded the states that we have in the Southwest as part of the treaty to end the Mesoamerican War. France did not cede the Louisiana Territory because they had fought to a stalemate. When they was leaving, they sold it as a protectorate right.
We done made it to Black Magic.
Some of the local chiefs signed protectorate agreements with the French. If they don't invade the land, they can protect us from the sea. That was what they were supposed to do.
Indian way, kid.
Then they fought for the Port Nola, which became the Fort New Orleans. They fought for that, and that's how they end up having what's called protectorate rights. But that's not right to settle, squat, salvage, pillage, rape, demean people, murder indiscriminately across the land. All of these things they've done since the purchase. They was never supposed to cross the Appalachian Mountains. That's in their record.
Yeah, that's the 1763 proclamation line. And George Washington was, I ain't gonna lie, I became a fan of, and hold on for y'all go crazy. I'm gonna tell you why. We finna get back to Uncle, let him spit his game. But I became a big fan of George Washington after going in studying on him. I can't get too much because that's Bloodlines of the Go at 6. And as I'm going through and I'm researching, dude, I'm like, let me tell you something. You know, they push that European narrative and all of that, but George Washington had Indian heritage. Listen, you wasn't going to run the United States unless you had Indian heritage. And he had a mixed Indian heritage. And he described, he was a big nigga, probably like 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", sized up. They always call him a man of stature. And he was copper colored. They paint him as a YT man. But I seen his struggles, what he went through. He was trained up by Indians. He was raised around them. And so, but 1783 Treaty of Paris, #1 executive order was to make the 1763 proclamation line that kept them from crossing the Appalachians null and void. And Washington signed it. I'm not saying it's cool, but I became a fan of him and other things that he did. You got to remember, these dudes was like 19 years old, 19, 20. And nigga, you got the crown at 19, 20. You got a lot of them was youngsters, bro. They was 22, 23 years old. They were young niggas pushing that line. But let's walk.
They know they wasn't never supposed to cross the Appalachians. So everything west of the Appalachians is what we call hostile occupied territory of a foreign nation. America has nothing to do with us.
Superior.
It's all an illusion.
Superior.
It's a grand design to erase us on paper first, but once we believe they hype, we disassociate from the land. That's why they keep pointing us to Africa. See, we took the immigrants in Port Nola. They weren't allowed to come in nowhere. The Big Easy was the sorting ground. This is where your temperament tested. You get sent to a parish. You function in that parish, and this is your temperament. Then they tell you where across the land you can settle, because now they know you ain't got to get your head split by them Bloods and Crips out west, because they going to send you to the Midwest because your character type, personality, and disposition fit in with vice lords and GDs way better than Bloods and Crips, because they going to get you, right? So a lot of people was directed to what we called in that day Shinnecock territory. Today you know it as New York. That's Shinnecock territory. And they had the Shinnecock Nation consists of varying other tribes that was tied to their leadership in an affiliation of tribes that stretch from Maine all the way to what you call the Great Lakes State, Michigan, where Pennsylvania butts up against, what's that, Lake Huron, I think, or Erie?
You're going to have Erie. So, yeah, that was their tallest task. Once they start pushing their line for us, what in history is called the Beaver Wars, you got to remember when they're having the Powhatan War 1603, well, the wars in Europe that's taking place is the English Civil War. So Europe is at a civil war at this time. You feel me? So, but this the same year as the Powhatan Wars. I'm gonna have to put y'all on game on that. Now, with the Iroquois pushed over and to the Great Lakes, but you had another powerhouse there. Listen, man, Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, them people coming out the Great Lakes, Ohio, them parts of Ohio, bro, they weren't playing no games. Ohio was a powerhouse. It has been a powerhouse. Today, you know, you hear them niggas say Ohio versus everybody. Now, Ohio was so large back then. Yeah, they were one of the most powerful people in that region. So check it. What movie was this I was watching? The movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson. The movie The Patriot. And in that movie, they talked about how they were gonna take the land. You know, they wanted to go to war because after the war, they would become landowners. And the guy, he asked him, he said, hey, can you tell me about Ohio? You know, is it possible one day you could take me there to visit? Ohio been a powerhouse. That's why you find the most modern systems there. Now, shout out to Alabama. But I'm saying we talking about different countries. But yeah, that play up there in the Great Lakes, they fought the Erie for 2 years. And once they knocked them off, they went to Virginia. And some of the Erie actually came with them. So you're going to get your Erie, your Shawnee. You're going to get these people out of there. Shawnee, shout out to my nigga Superior in the building. Shout out to Geechee. We was at the Serpent Mounds in Ohio and ran across the Shawnee joint. Geechee said, I need this picture. I still got it in my phone. I got the video while he was recording it. So they pushed off into Virginia, and then that's when you get the Rickahokins. You know, you're going to start seeing the names change. And a lot of the babies that was born, they were born in these different times and eras of these battles that was being taking place. So it's damn near equivalent to the prison, the three strikes, the private prison, when they started doing that, and you get the mass incarceration. You know, the crack age, which brought forward the gangs and the gangs expanding and becoming more dangerous over turf wars. And it's the same shit happening over and over. And if you understand time, then you know there's no such thing as the future. There's no such thing as the past. It's only the present. And if you can have thoughts on the future, any thought that you are having, goddamn, is actually happening, just happening on a different dimension. Whether it's past or present, it's because everything is running simultaneously. You feel me? So, with that being said, it's so easy for us to look at things that took place in history, and based off our experiences and how old the soul is and how it reincarnated. I remember I went and got my shit done. The lady said, wow, I never met nobody with so many zeros. She said, you're going to have to be very disciplined in this life and don't take it for granted by you having so many zeros in your chart, meaning you have been through all of the numbers. You're going to have an even greater task, so I don't think it's going to be an easy rodeo. Anyway, that made me think of that. But you on point. Don't keep building. Let's walk.
keep forgetting.
And that's where they're gonna have the battle of Tall Timber. Shout out to Superior Mind, because I could just pass him the mic and he can come break all that shit down for you. Battle of Tall Timbers. They rocked out. This is after the Revolutionary War. After the French and Indian War, you see on Rod Hayes' had it say Pontiac, Chief Pontiac. It's gonna be the Pontiac Wars after that, which is gonna lead us into what they call the Cherokee Wars. But in history, we know it as the Revolutionary War. Let's walk.
But anyway, the lakes, the all of that territory coming from the
Legendary
Lake Superior in the north, coming down
What's up,
into
Steve?
Lake Huron, all that was Shinnecock territory, but they had tribes. They had Mohawk, Tomahawk. They had all of the names are exonyms. The Mohawk didn't call themselves Mohawk. The people called them Mohawk, and the name began to be written in literature. That's how you know who they are. The Apache didn't call themselves the Apache, but that's what the settlers called them, right? And in those names being who they was recognized at in the reading material that was being disseminated, they have to go by the name that's written on the paper in order for the people that's doing the reading to know who they are.
And that's gonna
It's
come
just
from
like
the
Cherokee.
BIA. That mentality is gonna come from the BIA. See, you had older tribes too, who was super duper powerful, so they had to sit at the table. So for a period in U.S. history or American history, we are going to see the names, but there's a time that's gonna come where we're gonna be introduced to these new names, which are more, you know what I mean? We you know, the names that we know and see today, you know, Choctaw, Chickasaw, and all of that. But if we look on the maps, if we go back and look on the maps, let's say 1600s, we're not gonna see no Choctaw, Chickasaw, or none of that. What we will get is the truth in the oral story. A lot of people say, "Oh, we don't know. We never heard of your tribe, Kusada. We never heard of the Kusada." Right. But if you go back to the earlier maps, they talk about them. When we get to the 18th century, we hear a lot of niggas talk about Miko. The Mikos are gonna come from either use Kusada, and then later on you'll see it being used by the Seminole Miccosukis. You feel me? Not them. I'm talking about them Okeechobee Creeks, them riders. That's why Seminole would never mean runaway. Don't worry about it. Oh, I get my time to shine. We're going on BLACKMAGIK363 with this, and we're going to pop out. We're going to get a real understanding, because it's even OGs in the game that's telling this shit the wrong way. Nigga, we ain't ran for nothing. We ain't turned nothing down. It's some nations that never were conquered, never signed a treaty with a Spanish, a European, a Frenchman, or nobody. And nigga, they pushed their line, and that was their reason of coming together. And the ones that came, the majority of the ones that came together never been conquered. So in 1790, when you see treaties being signed, that's a Kusada nigga. Because when you go to the Indian agents, the top five, you had top five powerful nations that stretched from here all the way down to West Florida. I'm talking about people who they were worried about when they like, all right, we finna walk through this shit. We can whoop him. I can probably whoop him. But these five on the table, we're gonna have some trouble with them. We're gonna have trouble with them. But let's walk.
Cherokee is not a tribal name. It's an exonym.
Shout out to Paul.
And it was used when we was using English language and dealing with English colonizers, which looked like me. They look more like me than any pale face from Europe.
Shout out to
the
you.
The first settlers that came from Columbus expedition to the Mayflower, to all of those were melanated people. We didn't start getting other people until they started advancing and getting land from us through the sweetheart swindle and murdering big mamas in order to turn family plots into plantations. It's all part of the paper genocide.
Turtle.
So that's what the purpose of it is. The purpose of it is to make the people think they from another part of the earth and they have no claim to this part of the earth.
Shout out to my OG Donna Grant.
You know, I heard years ago. I remember this is, I think Sonetta was filming at this time, and he did a video. It might have been with Dr. Eileen Bay. It was somebody, and the Morris brother was saying that they had to do Hurricane Katrina because they had to give up that land back to I guess the Washita.
Nah, see, look at Rich. I got you, family. And this ain't to not the big homie, because I watched him for years, Eileen Bay. Shout out to Eileen Bay, shout out to North Carolina. But that ain't it. We not, you know, that's why the youngsters here. You know what I'm saying? We gonna come with no cut on the door. That is not official. But you know that is not official. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't to disrespect the homie. Or official pictures. He say, what it do, Top? This movie finna be fire, tapping in. Artificial. You the homie from Atlanta that hit me about the movie. All right, so check it. I think this the homie right here. Artificial. So a brother hit me up out of ATL. He say, man, I heard y'all talking the other day, say y'all want to do a documentary. And he say, man, this is what I do. So I say, shit, send me some work. Let me see what you looking like. Send me some work. Boom. He showed me the work. He official. He got shit on Tubi and everything. So, man, that's what it's going to take, you know, to build a nation. The people, instead of everybody rushing to grab the microphone and be the next goddamn Umar Johnson or motherfucking Polite or whatever, the next Farrakhan, you know what I'm saying? We got people out here with other talents, with other hobbies, with shit they into, with, you know, them bringing stories to life, you know? So, yeah, brother reached out like, man, he want to work. So he said, yeah, that's me. Okay, yeah, we on point. Turn up one time, Big Indian. And I'm gonna be getting with you. I talked to the girls about it, and it's a good move. So I chop it up with Dane and Talik, and you know Uncle Roy on board, my nigga King Los. You feel me? Chip the Ripper out of Cleveland. You know, 217 Cleveland, Ohio. Who else? Man, the homie Killer Priest. You know, and then some figures from that been putting this shit down. They've been pushing, they've been laying bricks, you know, for others that's coming in to walk on. You know, yeah, we turning up. And far as a movie, oh man, we go crazy. I'm gonna let y'all know though. I'm playing my kinfolk Osceola in the movie. So we can turn up. We can have a whole Seminole War. And let that bitch turn into, man, we can get the Cowboys, all these Cowboy correlations, and these niggas out of Oklahoma and these niggas out of Mississippi and shit. And nigga, we can run the whole Buffalo Soldier. We can show them how we put it down on some Buffalo Soldier shit too. From Seminoles to Seminole Scouts all the way to Buffalo Soldiers, nigga, to taking over the goddamn world, nigga, and making U.S. The motherfucking powerhouse military, the greatest military on earth. We can do that too. That'll be a killer. That'll be a live movie right there. We can go so far as going to the founding fathers or the creation of the United States. And nigga, we could be all up in D.C. and Jersey and Philly with it and put on for our people up there. Man, it's so many ways and so many plays, man. But shout out to the homie, man. I'm glad to have you on the team.
That they had
nigga, we gonna do some great shit. So yeah, I'm gonna holler at Dane and them about it and tell them, man, look, the homie that sent me his work is official. We just need to get on the line, get some communication, and 2025, we finna do some big things for the whole paradigm.
Get the land back to the Washita or something
They
like
still
that.
ain't got it back, so that can't be accurate. But they was trying to build a casino complex in the Ninth Ward. where all the most amount of people left, they was mad at them people. It was vengeance.
You feel me? Real
Nobody wanted to give up their little quarter-acre plot with their house on it that their grandmama was living in, and her mama lived in. They didn't want to give it up because that's our culture. That's part of who we is. Once we get a plot of land, you almost got to use a welder to separate us from it.
Carry bad the building. You know,
so when they was trying to get the 9th Ward, they wanted to build a casino complex. That's what that was about. Katrina was about casino money and getting people off the land and they end up not using it. There's still a whole lot of vacant territory over there. I think it's called the 9th Ward.
Yeah, the 9th Ward. You got to cross the bridge.
But they was...
My family out the 9th Ward. I got family out the 17th. I got family out the 9th Ward. I got family out the 17th. Yeah, you got to cross the bridge. So like you say, city be live, man. We got to get ride down there to the Marty Gras, the Super Sunday type of shit. Yeah, let him get them downloads there and ride. You know, he gonna fit right in. You feel me? Just like when Philadelphia went down to New Orleans and they found out they had so much in common, y'all niggas act just alike. You know what I'm saying? Philadelphia had the Super Bowl in New Orleans. They fell in love with New Orleans. They said, damn, these niggas act just like us.
Planning on building a whole bunch of casinos, like 5 major casinos and then some hotels and restaurants and stuff that people didn't want to sell.
Around what year was they reclassifying people as? Did they start reclassifying people as Negro and colored?
As soon as they start, well, the year wise is subjective because none of those terms, we didn't describe people by skin color. We described them by character, right? We tie them to a totem and ascribe them to a character. Like, for instance, let's say Chief Standing Elk. That means he a stand-up dude and his totem is the elk, right? Chief Little River, right? He's a short dude, but his character flows like the river. This is how we name people. We didn't name people group names or classifications. Professions was named after the people that did the work. All of the Smiths were metal workers. All Smiths on this land they were metal workers, but we didn't call them Smiths. Smiths is a European term for people over there that did the same thing, metal workers. So they came over here, they named this whole family the Smiths. Right. So now all these people were Smiths, but then you had subgroups. You got the goldsmith, you got the blacksmith, right? And that means that the goldsmiths was the ones that was melting down the gold, making the bars. The blacksmith was the ones who wrought the iron and made the fences and the gates that went around the family cemetery plot to keep the kids from playing on the ancestors. Right? So stuff like that we did naturally. This is already who we are. The family that was building the bridges, the European come over here and call their tribe the Bridges. Now you got all these people running around like Ty Bridges thinking he from Africa, and then he got some European name, last name Bridges.
Wow, damn.
It's this guy. He was an Indian. He built bridges. He was hired out by the U.S. military to build bridges. He built a lot of historic bridges going through Mississippi, Alabama, or where else he was at? Probably Georgia. But yeah, he was the king of building bridges, American Indian. I was gonna do a build on him one day. I had all the information up, but something happened that we didn't go through with it. But yeah, I'm finna pull him up now. Turn up. I'm finna look for him now.
Hey, Ross,
all the time you organic to the land.
What percentage of Africans came to the U.S. versus, let's say, the Caribbean and South America?
That's less than 5%.
That's a small number, right?
Well, you got to remember,
You confident in that number? That's damn 5.
They told us that they brought 30 million niggas from Africa over here to North America in the South. And we was all on the plantations in the South. 30 million niggas from Africa. Them Africans' temperament ain't like that. You not finna put no 30 million Zulu, Dinka, Mandinka. You not finna put no 30 million of them nowhere and have peace. You gonna lose. We was already here, and they was makeshifting family farms into plantations, and they was telling the family that worked the yard, worked the farms, they wasn't allowed to leave because there was a war going on.
Right.
That was the great deception. And the Masons got a record of it all, so I want they bring their ass out and start talking.
Nah, that's a fact.
Oh, raised and past ass niggas.
That's a fact.
Hiram told you motherfuckers to get to moving, and y'all sitting there acting like that shit ain't true. So you don't even believe the shit you teach. Jabaline, Jubaline, and Job. Man, all of them. They know what's going on.
Yeah,
the Mason seal is on the chief's shackles that was ransomed back to the tribe.
Earlier, Chief Panaericanism said that they signed treaties with themselves. We have 100% proof that every treaty was signed by a Mason. The reason they didn't come out and tell people in North America that there were pyramids in North America, it's still shit covered up, bro. Wait till y'all see my Grand Canyon bill. What do y'all see me show y'all this Grand Canyon shit, bro? They're not talking about the pyramids there. They're not talking about the pyramids on the Mississippi. It's pyramids all around North America. They just haven't cleaned them off. Or they use a tactic in China. China old buildings that were created, old world buildings that was created, they put a type of fertilizer and plant on it to grow grass and to grow grass around them. And this is their way of preserving them. Well, are you preserving them or are you hiding something? Because if there's information on pyramids all around North America, then that means that someone was here and that kills the Christopher Columbus narrative. And after that, all of the cards to the house fall down. You get a domino rally. Memphis, the University of Memphis, is the leading researchers on ancient Egypt. Mississippi, shoot 'em up, bang, bang. Nigga, Orange Mound is the leading research. I'm talking about even over Egypt. Even over Egypt. So, yeah, it's a lot here that they ain't told and they can't tell because, and you know, but we getting closer and closer. That when that day come, when they're hearing our voices and we'll, you know, they're gonna have to submit to it. It's a new day. These old politicians from the civil rights, they dying not, or they too old to even, you know, keep pushing. So it's a lot of, you know, people that's coming out of this paradigm with this information, with the information of their genealogy, their family heritage, their contributions here, and their voice gonna be heard. You know what I mean? They're the next up. So I'm talking about in politics. Just like we seen Trump had the whole White House full of all of them youngsters out of college. Well, they have been interning and all that. They're gonna be in Congress. They're gonna be our state representatives soon. They're gonna be running for some in our you know, districts and parishes and aldermen and shit like that. So it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be a different conversation. But turn up, Panaeric, let's go.
The Masonic symbol is on that. Them wasn't no slaves; they was ransoms. It's a book called.
Time out. One more thing. My point to bring up about the Masons is, so back in the game, they wanted to know who the mound builders were. The Masons hold the secrets to all of that ancient information that was provided to them, especially by tribes in the Southeast. Nations in Ohio. It ended up becoming Hopewell after a nigga had fought in the Civil War whose name was Hopewell. But these places, they start figuring them out through the information they were getting from the people on the land. But that information is kept in Masonry. A lot of people, so when Albert Pike come down, 1860s, he come down to the southeastern tribes of what would be classified as the 5 civilized, 4 really, because the Seminoles ain't had nothing to do with that. He took degrees from them and merged it with what is called Scottish Rite Freemasonry and basically revamped it. So he came down and he took the Masonry out the Southeast Indians, from the Southeast Indians, and added that to what today is called Scottish Rite Freemasonry. So the secrets to America, the truths about what was found in these mounds, the truth about these different pyramids, the truth about what they call these Tartarian free energy buildings, Uncle Rod is absolutely correct. The Masons hold the secrets. If y'all seen Bloodlines of the God 5, we ran through that conversation. That's how the Mormons was born, through that era. Thomas Jefferson them, he was dealing with niggas from France and everything. That's how they said they know who the Creek Indians are. That's why Thomas Jefferson and the Masons got information from the French that the first expedition that went to West Africa with Haino were Creek Indians, people who they call Creek Indians. And these are the same people that fought in Carthage, descendants of the Phoenicians. Go talk to the president about that. This is what the Masons are holding and keeping, and this is the stories of the mounds. This is where the hoax started coming for the Los Lunares stone, the Bat Creek stone, these different hoaxes, and people not even understanding it was Masonic rituals. So the language that Curtis Austin took to Liberia and created the what is it? The Kai language, the Va language. I'm sorry, the Va language, which is the source that they use to say Mansa Musa brother Abu Bakr came. Abu Bakr II. Why do they call him Abu Bakr II? Because the real Abu Bakr is the nigga that's gonna take over what is gonna become the true historical Moors. Not this bullshit, not this new shit. Look up Abu Bakr the Moor. These are niggas that ran with the Prophet Muhammad. These are niggas that took that got the car. They had the keys to the car as the Prophet Muhammad. That's the real Abu Bakr. Now, this other Abu Bakr that they made up, because we know they made up Mansa Musa. So he's gonna come in Brazil. There's a stone they're gonna find, and they're gonna this stone is gonna have what is called the Va language on it. Now we can transfer it back to the Cherokee, and that's syllabary. But it's a stone that's gonna come, and the Mason said, you know, basically the Mason gonna control the story. But it is even said that was Va. The shit that niggas are calling Hebrew, they're gonna take it back to the Va. But it go a little deeper. I'm not gonna bore y'all. We're gonna let Unc do his thing. Turn up.
Moors and Masonry that talk about how they was ransoming them back to the tribe. The leader,
country.
that they capture your leader, and then they realize the dumbest shit in the world is to let them have their leader back. scatter the shepherd and strike the shepherd and scatter the flock. And
So, man, when we talk about Caucasian people, at this point with the mixing that went on, you was talking to me earlier. You're saying that
with all of them people that was the offspring of Mr. Charlie and them up in the big house, that done kicked Big Mama out the big house, they done murdered her. Now they got Uncle Charlie running the big house, this house nigga, and now he done hired these hands, and he told them they could do whatever they want to them women out there. They ain't no kin to me. They'll sell their own mama. So what you think they're gonna do to our children? They'll sell their own children. So what you think they'll do to our mama? The only thing that got value to them is their brother. Oh, homosexual, pedophile, priest, cut ass niggas.
And who's they? Who's this they you talking about?
The
I don't want them to snatch this video, so don't curse too much.
I got you. I call myself. I get a little hyped up talking about them niggas because
I see.
They wrong, man. They so wrong on so many levels. But the problem is they got us fighting now about our status on the land after they done burnt down all of the records in Mississippi and Louisiana and Alabama and Arkansas and Florida and South Carolina. And we have the record of them burning down the records building, and then they tell us you can't trace your ancestry. Because every time I get to this point, it's a burnt down records building. You can't get past that. They done destroyed the records.
Well, they told us they destroyed them. One thing we know, them hoes gonna keep them. Now, are they underground? Because now when we get on these sites, it say these sites are Mormon sites, correct? Hold on, we finna come right back to But you're gonna see the latter Jesus Christ and the Latter-day Saints. You're gonna see Jesus Christ and the Latter-day Saints on there. So we go back to the myth of the mound builders, based on ideas that the origins of mound builders lay with a mysterious ancient people. Various others suggest were belonging to a more general pre-Columbian transoceanic contact theory, specifically involving Vikings, Atlantis, and the 10 lost tribes of Israel. All right. So they even come over talking about the lost 10 tribes in the Mormon book. Like I said, Joseph Smith, who was a copper-colored brother, he came out of that era of who's the mound builders. So that's why the Mormons is based their Bible or the biblical story on America, on North America. Check. And also Mexico City. Look, I'm in Tula, homie. When I was in Tula on the tour, guess who was there? The Mormons. The Mormons was on the tour there. They was all in black and white, black/white shirts, and the Mormons was there, homie, deep. And I say, man, this would be something. You know why? Because even in Egypt, there's a base for Mormons for when they come out. Yeah, the Mormons have a base there in Egypt where they doing their research. And so the dude tell me, yeah, they come down here and do research all the time. But the Mormon instructor is taking them through the history because plenty Mormon scholars have came, no different than the Nation of Islam. We see how they wrote their own history on blacks and ooze and different things like that. Well, they based theirs off the Americas, and Mexico and Central America and shit is a lot of the talking points they also use. So the Association of the 10 Tribes, the Book of Mormon, 1830. In this narrative, Jaredites and Israelite groups in 590 BC termed Nephites, Lamanites, the Nephites, the Lamanites, they were all of Jewish origins coming from Israel around 590. Jaredites were non-Abrahamic people separate in aspects except belief in Jehovah. The Nephites, the Book of Mormon depicts the settlers build magnificent cities which were destroyed by warfare. The Book of Mormon can be placed in tradition on what? Mound builder literature. The Book of Mormon is based on mound builder literature. So this is why when I popped out and I said, say, look at Joseph Smith was a copper-colored individual. When he came up in the era of the mound builders. Was he a Mason? Yes. So this is how he was privy to a lot of these information. What did he say? He found gold-plated tablets. All right, let's work. There are 10 tribes which were carried away, prisoners of their own land in the time of Osir the king, and Azarus led away captive and carried them over the waters, and so they come into another land. Now, right here is the Los Lunares stone, known as the Mystery Stone, Phoenician inscription rock, mysterious rock. It contains the text of 10 Commandments. Now, this was a play. This was a play. Because when we come here to the Back Creek stone, a fraud exposed. And this is coming from the Department of Environmental and Conservation. This is Institutional Database Staff Publication, Tennessee Division of Archaeology. Now, let me skip up to this point. We're going to go through it. Now, here you go right here. Holiness to the Lord, the inscription, one forehead on the high priest described Exodus and made to plate the holy crown of pure gold and wrote upon it a writing like to the engravement of signet, holiness to the Lord. So, what did he say? A plate, holy crown, pure of what? Gold. What did John Smith, the Mormon, say he found? He found tablets. He found gold tablets. Shout out to Martin in the building. Hey, man, the Cash App is working now. That motherfucker is up there on the screen. It's up there on the screen. It's sliding across, man. So y'all show some love. We back. Nigga, we been gone since November. So check it. So this is what Joseph Smith is gonna. These are the tablets. Are the tablets real? Yes. And they're coming from an ancient civilization, but these people can't wrap their mind around it. This is how old this world is. Now later they're gonna come and tell that it was Hebrew writing, but we know that's not true. Because if we go here, it's called McCoy. What Rod Hayes just said, it was all Masonic, and they hold the secrets to the mounds in the this history of America. McCoy Masonic Hebrew with the text. This is 1968 on page 134. You get the fake Back Creek stone. Now, this is pay-per-view shit, but we're gonna walk. You get the Newark Holy Stones. Now, this is an Indian burial in Newark, Ohio, now generally believed to be a hoax. So they said it was a hoax. The network earthworks, one of the biggest collections from ancient American Indian culture. As the Hope Well that existed approximately 100 BC to 500 AD. That's old. Now check it. Because we're scholars. So we finna go get to work. No AI. Autobiography of Emma Hardinge, Britain. Okay, page 124. We do it the old way. I want to be like the greats. So we doing it the old way. I feel my people in them, they're going to get on that AI and they know how to work that AI, do your thing. I want it the hard way. So I can have that debt. So when we get in the fight, nigga, we can go 15 rounds. And we gonna see who bag deeper. That AI you ain't gonna have no D bag. After the 6th round, 5th, 4th, 5th, 6th round, man, you got more pop on your punches. You done ran out of information. So this is what we gonna do. So they're trying to figure out this mound builder. So you had a guy named Dr. Fowler, right? Dr. Fowler made a speech, and it was to the effect that if the party then present would visit a hold of a circle by moonlight amongst works attributed to who? To the lost races of who? Mound builders of America. Check. They should find an evidence that the unknown people who had found those strange works were who? Freemasons. All right, so he gonna tell them where to go, and they end up going. But like you say, the mound builders of America who founded these strange works, he said they should find an evidence that the unknown people who had founded these strange works were Freemasons, and that's why we don't know. And so that's why Uncle Roy say, shit, let the damn Masons, if they gonna come out and just give us
Paper
the information
about our status and kick Big Mama out the big house. They done murdered her. Now they got Uncle Charlie running the big house, this house nigga. And now he done hired these hands, and he told them they could do whatever they want to them women out there. They ain't nothing, they ain't no kin to me. They'll sell their own mama. So what you think they're gonna do to our children?
Hold on, family, hit the like button. Appreciate y'all being here. This is the U. Welcome to the U. Tap that like button. And bang the cash app for support, man. That cash app on the screen, ticking across the screen. Show some love, show some support. We having a big Indian event this year. I talked to Rod today. He said if it lined up in the schedule, which I gave him a date, which he said should work, he's gonna be in the building. So we officially gonna fuck around and have Rod Hayes, Dane Calloway, and many others. Let's walk. That's this year Indian event. We throwing the largest Indian event, nigga, and we finna get it popping around this bitch, nigga. 2025, nigga, it's just a takeover. We watching everything. We finna do some big things. Y'all got the homie in the building that say he ready to make an Indian movie. Man, we on deck. Shout out to my nigga Will. We gonna bring all the people in, you know, who code that cameraman, and gonna bring this story to life.
They sell their own children. So what you think they'd do to our mama?
No sellout.
The only thing that got value to them is their brother.
I was thinking, I've been
thinking homosexual pedophile priest cut ass niggas.
Yeah, I've been thinking about the no sellout.
I don't want them to snatch this video, so don't curse too.
I got you. I call myself. I get a little hyped up talking about the niggas because
I see.
They wrong, man. They so wrong on so many levels. But the problem is they got us fighting now about our status on the land after they done burnt down all of the records in Mississippi and Louisiana and Alabama and Arkansas and Florida and South Carolina. And we have the record of them burning down the records building, and then they tell us you can't trace your ancestry. Because every time I get to this point, it's a burnt down records building. You can't get past that. They done destroyed the records. Paper genocide. Paper genocide.
Right, who's they? But let's be more specific.
Them niggas whose Fez's is in George Washington Masonic Memorial, them the ones we was fighting. That's the leadership.
That's a fact.
Of the contingent of dirty Moors that came over here. All of their Fez's, with their names on it or their shrine on it, they had to be identified. We know who they is. And the ones that sided with us is all on the painting of the last Mayan chief. With all of them, and he got like Carlos V. That's King Charles V.
Okay.
But he took sides with us because he was part of kicking them out of Europe.
And he had a baby mama. He had a baby mama with children. You know, another thing, Bloodline 6, I don't want to give up too much. But Montezuma had a baby with Indian women. so they bloodline live on. That's the shit I track. We're gonna talk about it in Bloodline. Let's go at 6.
Ask you a question, Rod. Coming up in consciousness, the Moors always talked about John Hanson on the back of the $2 bill. Who's John Hanson, Rod? Whose team he was on? Whose side?
He was the first president of the Continental Congress. The Continental Congress was morphed from tribal leadership into leadership by these blood families that keep being elected president. They all related. They all related. So they was to be the ones to continue what they call the New World. Remember, everybody keep talking about the New World Order. The New World Order started in 1492 when they found the New World. The order for the New World is to fight for who it belongs to. Do the world belong to the people of the world, or do the world belong to the invaders? That's what this whole thing is, the New World Order. The whole U.S. military paradigm is the New World Order. How else you gonna get your conquered enemies' children to fight your wars with the coldest warfare minds on the planet if they don't believe that you them?
Yeah.
They were never supposed to let us in their military. We fought for that stuff. Why would we fight to be in their military? We needed somebody on the inside, baby. We gotta have a dog in every fight. You gotta expect to win, but you gotta have a dog handler that know his dog well enough to know which one of the dogs was his in the fight. Then he can go back and collect all his money.
Right, right.
Y'all doing good on the
German
likes.
Shepherd Club, that was my dog over there. Yeah. Yeah. His name Redbone Reg. You see that one over there, the pit bull, that blue pit right there? Yeah, that's mine. Yeah, his name was Blue Head Buster. Right. I know my dogs. Wherever the chiefs make a move, a chief gonna be born that know his dog in the fight. Chief Zola, DMX. Tupac Amaru, the same pair as Crooks. Chief Sitting Bull, Notorious B.I.G. Christopher Wallace. Chief Crazy Horse, right? ODB, Wu-Tang Clan. Right? I can do this all the way until tomorrow, telling you where I seen all of the chiefs at and what they was telling me in their art. What they was telling me in their lectures. Elijah Muhammad, Clans 13X, Yahweh being Yahweh. They all saying something that's telling the chief what to look for to find the imposters on the land. And when Angel Bay was locked up, I knew who it was.
Bad News, Virginia.
When they had to lock Angel Bay up, Jeff Fort, now I know who the enemy is. It ain't no secret no more. Larry Hoover was never Jeff Fort enemy to begin with. Why would they tell the kids on the street that they enemies so that they can make them fight each other? Where your dog at in the fight? They telling us the tribes is gangs, but we don't know gang is just a villainized word for tribe. Because we don't never look words up to find the backstory to the word. They call it etymology.
Rod, what can you tell me about Pascal Beverly Randolph?
They
say he used to go with Lincoln.
I can't tell you a lot about him right now because he's not fresh on my mind. But during that era, a lot of those guys, they wrote about their position in the colonization of this land. You have, like for instance, you won't see a lot of the writings of the Iroquois Confederacy or the Cherokee Confederacy became your Continental Congress when they made an agreement on land distribution with the Iroquois Confederacy, which triggered the financial backlash that caused the Civil War. Was never fought about slavery. Slavery is an after the fact, let's try to tell a story to them this way. so that they will believe the narrative that they came from Africa.
Shout out to
But
Keisha
now the
Hood,
babies got
Princess.
it. They proving
Ain't
it better
shit.
than me. I can get out the way and let the babies go now. And they done. Because once the Braves get it, the Chiefs can sit down now and watch this mental fire burn the land, scorch the earth.
Talk that shit.
With awakening. Because
Talk
the
that
babies
shit.
got it now.
Talk that
I
shit.
told them when the babies get it.
Hold on, time out. What I been screaming? Shout out to Dane, man, and the one trades. I told Dane the other day, man, them niggas got it. Even if it's wrong, we outnumber and overpower everybody on the board. Like I told them, I roam on all these apps. And when I push through, niggas be showing me a lot of love. And I'm looking for the threat. I'm looking for whoever have a name and whatever, anything outside of Indian. Because we finna hit and we finna get him off the board. But I said it's a new day because the youngsters that's coming up, they not on that. They on American time. They on American time. Shout out to Teasy for the love and the cash out. Appreciate that love, Teasy.
Right? The old regime is screwed. The babies got it now. Y'all stuck.
They fucked.
The babies got it now.
It's over with,
they can't undo it now.
It's over
because
with,
the thing that they didn't have in consideration was that we was gonna have a record of the history from the time they started telling the lie to down, but we gonna go to the history before they start telling the lie and see how they describe us in a 1700 and 1800 writings versus they 1900 writings. The physical description is us all day long. It only the ones they call the Mongolians when they say that the Seminoles was taking runaway slaves. The Mongolians was the runaway slaves.
Don't worry about it. I'll take care of that.
This what nobody not getting. They thinking that when you're looking at this nappy haired dude on the cover of the book that he the runaway slave. He not the runaway slave. They brought Mongolian Hun.
I'm gonna take care of that part. I got that. And Alami, what up though? See, you made me damn near forget my next thought, Alami. You need to cut it out. Did these blues. So yeah, I've been to Big Cypress, the Seminoles in Florida. I've been to their reservation. I've been to South Carolina, to Osceola grave, at the fort, at the battleground. Yeah, so we can pop our shit.
Vedic slaves with them when they came. There wasn't no pale faces over here yet.
Not at all.
When the Seminole Wars struck up, there was no pale. There was only a handful in the Appalachians, and they all had red hair and freckles. We would spot them a mile away, and it came from Ireland. And they wasn't finna help them. They wasn't finna help them do nothing without Big Mama permission.
Cause we raised them.
Now we call them hillbillies and poor white trash, but they the ones gave us snipers in the armed forces. Right, because they took what they learned from the tribes on how to hunt when the firearm came and began to use it the same way, but with a further reach.
They was called
all of this is warfare. White supremacy is a war strategy. It's a war call and a war strategy. White has nothing to do with skin color. That's the description of the families of the royal houses. They used to wear only white. But when they got infiltrated, the Phoenicians began to convince them of the purple and the red garments.
And then
they settled into Europe.
Purple.
And then they came in as Ottomans, and they came in as the Etruscans and settled Italy. And now we thinking that the pale face, it wasn't them. The white man ain't white. He just used to wear white clothes, Jefe Blanco.
Mm-hmm.
They still do it in Mexico. You go around there, you want to know who the big dude is? KS Jefe Blanco. Where he at? They know Jefe Blanco mean the boss. Because he
Listen to me. Now y'all know I'm a Yucatan baby. I know my way in and out of that Yucatan. I done been up and down that Yucatan for the last 3-4 years. Started going out there in 2018. So I know how that shit work, that cartel and all of that. When I come out there, they gonna spot me from a mile away. You know what they gonna tell me? I'm gonna take you to the boss. They not finna deal with me. Hey, I'm finna take you to the boss. Nigga, I done been through that situation so many times. I got stories that I ain't even gonna tell. But when I push up, nigga, and I'm dolo by myself, jury on everything, nigga, you know what he gonna tell me? I'm gonna take you to the boss. Every time. Jefe Blanco.
He wear the white suit. They did it in Dukes of Hazzard with Boss Hogg. And they keep making mockery of our ignorance by putting it in movies like the Dukes of Hazzard, putting Boss Hogg in the white suit as the mayor. We know that the mayor is the town mother. So when they put Jefe Blanco there, we know what they're saying. We say we knocked your queen. But she ain't the queen. She's just the mayor of her flock. But we got a big queen, right? They call her the Queen Bee. Her color's black and gold. She run the money. We don't know this though, because we forget our culture. And then when we start explaining the culture back to those that's been socially indoctrinated and institutionalized with this police state, they believe the narrative that was given in order to separate us from the land and rewrote the history. And this is also part of the paper genocide. When you take the history that was there and then you bend it and you put your name where our name go, and you put somebody else's name where the other person's name go, but you still telling the same story. Somebody gonna figure out your lie.
Hey, let's get likes up.
Paper genocide.
Likes up.
You know, you mentioned you mentioned the Seminoles several times. What can you tell us about John Horse? That's a name that we hear a lot. What can you tell us about that brother right there?
He was probably one of the other chiefs down there. But when I study the Seminole Wars, I don't remember all of the names of the most important people because I'm trying to see the event. In the names, a lot of times I can't go in detail on some of them, especially the ones that was helped. The ones that was hurting us, I could probably run their whole history down. But some of the ones that I already know, well, he harmless, he one of us. He ain't doing, I won't remember his whole backstory. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? But when the time comes, I could tell you when you search the Gullah Wars, and the Seminole Wars is how the Spanish saw the war. They called it the War of the Seminoles. Mm-hmm. Right? Some people say Cimarron, but that's not, it was Seminoles, the half-breeds. And the people from the land call it the Gullah Wars because we was called to fight the wars, the Gullah Wars, by Gullah Geechee's Big Mama. And I read that by reading the migration patterns of the people across the land. And then I know when I see a certain amount of tribes deliberately displaced themselves from their homeland, we don't leave our home territories unless we fight no war. So when I'm looking back at...
Hold on. I don't mean to break your wisdom. We just gonna just real quick for the people out there who probably not, fond of them. So the Seminoles push out from Florida, end up in Texas. Why they end up in Texas? Because Vicente Guerrero, a president of Mexico that looked just like us, because the real Mexicans look like us. Can't get an amen. So they came and they became what's called Seminole Scouts down here in Texas. This is a picture that I got from TP2 Live. One Kabbalah, Seminole Indian Scout. This is Mexico, y'all. I remember TP posted this. TP, what I put under there? This is gold. This 24 karat gold. This is Mexico. Y'all see them instruments that they're using right now? What do Mexican bands play with today? Somebody said look like a goddamn second line going on out there. One Kabbalah, that's who they call John Hoyce. All right, this is Coahuila, Texas. Coahuila, Mexico. Coahuila, Mexico. And many of the Army Scouts, although did not enlist, he served as an Army interpreter, negotiator. When the U.S. government failed to help the Seminole relocate the Seminole Nation in the territory, John Hoyce came well to Mexico. This is his grandson. So he was a Seminole Indian Scout, Seminole Indian Scout that the U.S. government hired out to fight off what is called the Plain Indians as they pushed west because they couldn't navigate them territories and they couldn't whoop them. But we could, and we did. Well, this is his grandson. His name is John Jefferson. He's the grandson of Chief John Hoyce. He was a scout, just like his granddaddy. He later joined who? The 10th Cavalry, the Buffalo Soldiers. So this is when they try to make the Buffalo Soldiers African and all this here. No, Buffalo Soldiers, they come from their dad, their fathers and their granddads and their great-granddads were people of the Revolution. Even if they weren't just Seminole, they were people of the Revolution. So you could be Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, and all of that. You feel me? Osage, Caruncles, Caddos, all of that type of shit. As long as they was coming out that area, Indian territory, they banged together.
All of these people was conversion between Louisiana and South Carolina. They all coming south, and then they all moving east. Then I'm seeing Hawaiians coming across. They not going where they normally go. Hawaiians used to travel between the Maori Islands, where Tonga, Samoa, all into New Zealand. That was their travel route of normal practice of trade, because they big mamas used to interact. Our big mamas, we dealt with the Central American islands, Hispaniola, Cuba, Jamaica, St. Croix, all of those islands. Our big mamas was do the caretaking the trade with them. So when I see Hawaiians floating into Mexico and Southern California and Arizona, and then I'm seeing Samoans and Tongans, and they all coming in, and Big Mama called us to war. I know we don't move like that. We out of character. Because I know my people, I can watch the flow and I know where we going, and then I look at ground zero, Orlando. And then I go study the area and find out about the Gullah Wars. Only way we come into war from that far away, it's only one person that can call them. And at the time, the big mama that held that rank was Gullah Geechee. And she lived on an island off the coast, I think, of North Carolina. What they call the Gullah Islands. She lived on the island, and she seen them SOBs coming and called us to war, and they didn't have no telephones. Remember that. Ain't no telephone. It ain't none of this dash. It ain't no Morse code. It's spirit. It's spiritual mastery of the self and the understanding of the self All of the big mamas is hive connected. They connected. They know. They all making their individual moves, but they checking in with each other while they doing it. And when the chiefs of the land, especially a war chief, sit back and look at history, he can say and tell you exactly what happened without knowing damn person name. I'm looking at the migration pattern. And they dumb enough to reprint it because they think we not gonna know how to read ourselves. That means you don't have no knowledge of self. And that's why people like Elijah Muhammad, Marcus Garvey, Du Bois, they was all fighting to give you self-knowledge and self-esteem enough to seek further self-knowledge that'll break you out of the trap of inferiority complexes manufactured by your enemy. And we didn't swear to be their enemy. They swore to be ours. We welcomed them in peace, but they came with war. We had open hands and theirs was full of dirt. And they wanted to land. How do we know they wanted to land, Brother Rich? What happened? How did they get Manhattan? What they say happened to give them Manhattan? You remember?
Peter Manu.
Oh, no. What happened?
They said it was a string of beads, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some other shells. Less than $1.25 worth of actual material. They sold Manhattan.
16.
That's BS because we don't sell land.
And that was 1626.
That's how we know that they came for the land, because they was negotiating, trying to get the land. And Chief Pontiac told them, we don't believe in selling land. It's almost every big chief that you look up, tell them we don't believe in selling land. They even tell you about it in their parody movies of us.
That's a fact. So with the Cherokees, you had John Ross, and his under chief was Major Ridge. Well, when they sat at the table and, you know, they came up with the rules, one of the rules is anybody sell the land or punishable to be unalived. Now, Major Ridge came back and signed the Treaty of New Echota, which seized land and pushed the Cherokees westward on what became the Indian Removal Act. For that, he left his house. He was in Oklahoma at the time, relocated, left his house early in the morning. He had a Negro driver, the story say. And when they made it up to the stop sign, it was a four-way lane intersection. And it was guys left out, two guys hopped out of the bushes on the left, two guys hopped out the bushes on the right, and they opened fire with rifles. That's the time. That's big Indian business. That's Indian mob ties, man. Y'all get y'all a platinum pack and check out Indian mob ties. You want that whole story on there, because his people and them came and hit back. But they hit him that same morning. They went to his son's house. His son was John Bridge. They went to John's house. He was in there asleep with his wife. They grabbed him by the leg, pulled him out the bed, drug him to the porch, and overkill. They went to his little nephew, who is Elijah Buddha Nose, or his real name is Buck Wadey. He the one who wrote the book, It'll Come to Me, but it's about the lost 10 tribes. He went to school through a foreign program in Connecticut, where the Puritans ran, who first came and said they was gonna create New Israel, city on the hill in Connecticut. Well, they're gonna bring over him out of Tennessee from a guy, John McDonough, where they held the houses at. They held the school, the classes at. Major Ridge was a youngster. He was under Doublehead. He was under Dragon Canoe and them, the people in history that are known as the Chickamaugas. He was a little homie to them. What's the other homie name? He gonna trade after everybody. John Watts, WATTS, another hitter out the Cherokee. They were the young boys at the time though. When they OGs got knocked out, John Watts is gonna sign the treaty with the United States, and that's gonna take you into the Treaty of Holston, 1791. 1794, they're gonna create the government. So we go from 3 Cherokee territories into 1. Now we got 1 chief. I think that was Turkey. And this is where the play gonna start unfolding. But they went and hit Stan waited that day too. They was working on the house, and 2 guys walked up, say he was sick. Can he take him around the corner to the doctor? On the way, they doing mafia style. You know, niggas sit in the back seat behind you. And put that and hacked him till he was unalive. Indian mob ties, man. Go get a BCU Platinum Pack off BigChiefUniversity.com, man. Over 100 lectures on that bitch, man. Go over there and turn up. And that in that joint, Indian mob ties, it tells the story of the Civil War like you have never heard it before.
When they got the Mongolian or the Italian dude acting like he a Native American, asking the colonel, how did you get the land? Did you barter for it? Did you trade for it? I'm already free on this land. How, all of a sudden I got to start paying you? Who are you? Where you come from? What's your credentials? They not us.
They not like
they
us.
Came for
they
war
like
and we handed it back. You know, war does not stay the same. If you don't know what warfare is, then you will never know what a police state is. And when you don't know what a police state is, you don't know what an occupied territory is, then you won't know why we went from common law to admiralty law. It wouldn't make sense. It's going to keep you in a perpetual loop of confusion.
Yeah, you was talking about a little earlier. Wow, Rod been hot. He's been hot this whole for 40 minutes straight, y'all. Damn. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got about 2,700 people in the chat. Oh man, what a show! What a show! We're talking about the land. We're talking about the soil. We're talking about who we are. We're talking about the lies, the deceit, the narcissism that took place. The shit. I mean, this is a lot. This is a lot that the brother
leave the sorcery out, because that's how they find. That's how they finally got what's called a state, a ceasefire agreement. Them feds in the George Washington Memorial challenged the chief to a conjure war. That's why they on display. But you don't see none of the feathers on display. So who's being concealed in the conflict?
Sound like some bloodlines.
Those Shriners. Those 32-degree Scottish Rite Freemasons.
Shit.
They issued a conjure war to the chiefs of the land because they thought their masonry was better than our mastery, and they just had their ass handed to them. Because they found out that in the end, in order to close it out, they had to call the same chief we had to call, because they can't close out without it.
Hey, let's get to a
because he gonna come and tell you. It was a conjure war.
Let's get to 1,000.
It was 50 chiefs playing Fanix chief in the dark, right? And it was however many pheasants it is, that's how many of them it was. It's more of them than us, according to Noble Drew Ali. We the many, they the few. But they got great impact on dogma, and we are masters of the morals. We'll be morally correct as we need to be in order to outclass them MFs. It's up for them. They dismantling the corporation in real time as we speak. I done sick my watch doge on them. Everybody think they know what's happening. They don't know what's going on, Rich. They just think they know what's going on. It's over with. The game is over. We won. They lost. Pack your and go.
All right.
It's over.
We win. You lose.
So Andrew Jackson come in with this Trail of Tears family swap, where they kicked all of our family out in the South. So we had to be adopted in. The old Mississippians adopted in under the Chata, the Chickasaw, Cherokee, and all these other tribal names that they imposed upon us, right? But we still know who we is because the message is in the music for 100 years telling the same story. Strange fruit. Black hand. They don't give a fuck about us.
Hey, Rod, I ain't gonna lie, man. Me and you, man, we've been going at it with these videos since about 2021 or 2022. I ain't never see you this emotional in the video, brother. I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't never see this emotional. It's to
the point now. It's done.
What up, though?
They lost. What is they still bitching about? Go on, take your ass to Gitmo. Jump on the boat and stop bitching. Stop crying. Stop trying to stop the process that you can't stop. You ain't Superman. You can't stop this speeding train. It's just not gonna happen. The games is up.
It's up, baby.
It's over.
Once the youngsters get it, it's over with.
They should have never involved me if they wanted this to continue on, because I'm gonna tell it like it is, and they ain't gonna like it. And people feelings gonna get hurt because they thought we was Africans, and they African pride gonna be busting their native head. I'm not trying to agitate my people. I'm trying to get them imposters off the land. The same thing Tupac was doing, the same thing Eazy-E was doing, the same thing George Clinton was doing, the same thing that Smokey Robinson was doing, right? But we don't pay the artists no attention. That's why you can get more information through art than you can from history, from school. School is designed to mislead you. The artist is designed to tell you the raw and uncut truth, no matter how much you may not like it. But it might be good to dance to. The rappers been telling us what's going on in the community the whole time. If you can look at it, we got rap broke up into sections, Rich, don't we?
Yeah.
We got old school rap. What did they talk about in old school rap, Rick? Do you remember?
The Public Enemy era? You talking about that era?
No, that's not old school rap. That's new school rap.
What would you call old
Run
school?
DMC? What you talking
Anything
about?
before 89?
So like
Big Daddy Kane or some shit.
Run DMC, LL Cool J, Houdini,
right.
Smith and Wesson, Cool G. That era of rap, it was primarily about two things: dancing and getting your knowledge game up.
Right.
It was about social awareness to your surroundings as part of your studies, and they was telling you what to study. Run DMC came out as the kings of rock, right? But they first came out on Hard Times. That's when they got national. How do Hard Times start? Hard Times spread just like the flu. Watch out, homeboy, don't let it get you. Prices go up, don't let your pockets go down. He's talking about inflation in the government. He's talking about the hard times Reaganomics is currently creating. He's talking about it in ghetto code. So when the prices go up, don't let your pockets go down. I mean, don't participate in all of the hype that they telling you. Keep getting your money, because the inflation is the money gonna lose value and you're gonna need more of it, right? And then you had the dance community. Why did we tell them to dance? Because you can't be miserable and dance and stay miserable. You have to have an outlet for the misery, right? The aggressiveness, what we call breakdancing, dance-offs. to burn that off so you can see clearly, because you got to get past the anger in order to be able to strategize. Most of the average brother gets stuck at the anger and he don't know what to do with the anger, and he end up doing some dumb shit.
Crashing out.
But they had break dancers come out, and not only is break dancing battle dancing, but it's also gymnastics. It's teaching you how to flip. Right? So then when you learn how to flip, you could flip it off any one of them. It's called passing the baton. Right? So then you can look back on history and say who passed the baton and where did they pass it to. It's the culture been telling me the whole story from day one. From day one. Then LL Cool J came out with his radio. What'd he say? My radio, believe me, I like it loud. I'm the man with the box that can rock the crowd. Walking down the street to the hardcore beat while my JVC vibrates the concrete. Why would he? What is he talking about? We naturally have an attraction like moths to the flame to loud music because we know where to party at. LL is telling us, if you follow me through this party game, I'm going to get you where you need to go. Mm-hmm. Right? He's just trying to get you to the breakdancers at this time. But no matter what genre of music it is, they got to always go back to the blues, the old Mississippi Delta blues. So he go back to the blues with, when I'm alone in my room, sometimes my conscience call, right? I need love. That's blues in rap form. Because he got to go back down to Mississippi to get the code to know what to talk about next in order for us to put the puzzle together through the arts and entertainment, no matter what it is. They can't hide it. It's in the history.
Hey, while he's speaking on LL, Flavor Flav, a lot of y'all probably saw this. Flavor Flav said he been knowing LL Cool J since they were children. How did he know LL since they were children? He said because their parents were born on the same Indian reservation. Look it up. Flavor Flav said that. Flavor Flav black ass said his mama and LL mama grew up on the same reservation.
History, but it's in the history before the Rockefeller controlled education system, and you got to read books that's not recommended, preferably books that's banned. Because the banned books got more truth in it than the books that's approved.
That's a fact.
Okay, Rod, since you brought up dancing, when you came on the scene, you kept talking about crip walking. And in my mind, I'm just me and you at the time. I'm like, damn, this brother's serious about the spirituality behind crip walking. You kept talking about it. Crip, when the Crips started walking, whatever, you kept talking about it. Fast forward 2025, Rod, the most watched Super Bowl of all time, the Supertime halftime show of all time.
Turn up.
I think the Kendrick Lamar's video, his performance is at over 70 million now. Crip walking all on the stage. Serena Williams up there crip walking.
I think it's deeper than that. New Orleans still hold a lot of that culture. Man, if you're not from New Orleans and you go down there, it's an eerie feeling. I rate it equivalent to like ghosts walking around. It's a real spiritual place. You can feel it. It's ancient. They brought the Marty Gras Indians. It was a lot of things that took place in there. The Marty Gras Indians. Whenever the Marty Gras Indians come out, the stomping, the music, they tell you that they're conjuring up spirits. They tell you they're conjuring spirits. I can play a video right now Where you come on there? Mighty cool that fire. And what he tell you? They are conjuring spirits. So I think, yeah, Kendrick Lamar label pushed it, but it hit a little different around the globe. Nigga, I seen Jackie Chan. You got little kids in Africa. You got Mexicans. You have I seen Asians. I seen people in Japan doing it. Nigga, I seen Jackie Chan. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? Yeah, that Jackie Chan, Rush Hour, Jackie Chan hitting it. I don't think it was just Kendrick. I think it was powerful, but New Orleans and Philadelphia went down there and just fell in love. A lot of people went down there and fell in love because they conjured up them spirits. And man, bro, I know that's an experience that people will never forget. You know what I'm saying? You'll never get that feeling again. Whatever that feeling that was going through their body, you'll never get that again.
Because we are who we are, we're walking miniature universes. We have this power within us, and we dance.
Hey, K,
what effect did that have on the planet?
305
us crip walking, the planet seeing crip walking showcase like that. We have a inferiority complex, so a lot of us don't see how powerful that is. But for those who know the spirituality of dancing, what did that do to the planet, Rod? Kendrick Lamar's performance and the crip walking.
The crip walk is walking lightning, Big Tookie. And when he have his whole army crip walking, you can look at the increase in the electromagnetic field around the earth by lightning strikes. Everywhere lightning strikes is because of crip walk, right? Remember when they told you that they had rain dancers?
Yeah.
Yeah, rain dancing is hooper stepping. That's Midwest. That got nothing to do with the West Coast. The West Coast is the fire and the lightning, the Bloods and the Crips. The Crips, the sea walking, patron saint at a handicap, Big Tookie. And those who work with the metal, the Smith clans, right? Then
Hey, hold on, chat. I want y'all to put in the chat. What Tookie Williams origins come from?
Energy that's being harnessed is literal electricity in the air. And the master crip walker was set off a lightning storm in 10 different cities while not long after he started stepping. This is the bee walkers is going to start sparking fires, but they normally come with the thunder behind the crips. When they step, bee walk step, they bring the thunder. The crips bring the lightning. They two of the biggest tribes on the West Coast woke up at the same time. Right? If you look at the original OG Pyru Blood, his name was Puddin'. If you look at the original 5% Father God Allah, he was affectionately called Puddin'. Right?
Hey, hold on, watch this here. And Big Puddin' them, where they was from. Rest in peace, AC Baba Louie. Where he from? He from Houston, Texas. Raymond Washington. Where Raymond Washington from? Texas. I think he was from Houston. Fort Worth. Y'all help me out with that. But yeah, I think Raymond, people them come out of Houston. Taking them from Louisiana.
You got two different things going on two different coasts. They telling you where the proof at. And the proof came up in Detroit. And the proof gave us the pale face dragon, the white dragon, the one that spit the fire, the God flow in the pink face. Because they said we couldn't do it. Right? So now when you go back to the history and you find out that Dr. Dre was actively looking for a pale face spitter because somebody told him to look for a pale face spitter. We need a white dragon. What we need a white dragon for? Because the proof is in the pudding. That means he not really pale face. He got a drop of blood. And he gonna be able to express himself to the tribes, and he gonna be able to cross the bridge from what they call mainstream and underground rap. He come out of the battle rap scene. This ain't no accident, ain't none. Everything is on the script. Everything is on the script. So once you get the proof out the pudding, that was the end of the era of hip hop, what we call the rebellion hip hop, second wave, new generation hip hop. Started in the 90s, like 90, 91. Right? And this is when it was carried, the baton was carried by Chuck D through Public Enemy, who passed it to Ice Cube to take it back out west because
hold on, time out, y'all. My bad. Main chick say Venus Serena dad from Shreveport. That's why he about to beat that reporter up back then. That Louisiana came out and he about to slap shit out that reporter back then in the game.
Sooner or later, we're going to have to nip this in the bud. So we're going to have to find this dude from Chicago coming off Kershaw, but we're going to have to mirror him with somebody out west coming off Crenshaw. Because when you write them both in cursive, they look damn near the same. Mirror flipping. This is tribal warfare. The tribes fight their war. They challenge us to a conjure war. Curtis Jackson conjure, the unstoppable conjure. The March of the Mayors. Right? They don't even know what I'm talking about. Old New Orleans conjure man, Curtis Jackson. Money getter from day one. Gorilla knocker. So he got to come out on the Gorilla Clan.
You talking about 50 Cent?
G-Unit. I told you, you got to have a dog in every fight, and you got to know where your dog at in order to collect your motherfucking money. Every one of the chiefs had a job they was born to do, but they don't know what it is. But if they can be true to themselves, they can be seen.
Bars.
And they did their job because I seen them.
They could be authentic, huh?
Yeah.
Bars.
Authenticity. BDL just dropped the clip. Say authenticity is the highest frequency you can vibrate on earth.
Yo, somebody do the research. I want to know how much the Schumann resonance spiked during the Super Bowl. We got to really see the signs.
You know what? That's a good idea, Rich. I didn't even check.
Yeah, we got to somebody do that research. Let me know, family. I'm gonna check.
It'll probably be within 3 days after.
Yeah.
You will see the spike. But the Schumann for the Crip Walk, you're not looking for Schumann. You're looking for, they got a Doppler lightning strike map. That's the one you need to look at. Because then you can see the activity and where the energy hit at the hardest around the world. You see they got Koreans and Vietnamese and Japanese doing reenactments. They got Africans doing reenactments of the Super Bowl. Kendrick.
Right.
Yeah.
You got hillbillies doing it. You got bikers doing it. You got old mechanics doing it. And they all putting out their TikToks imitating. Just go on TikTok and put in Super Bowl imitation or Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl imitation. You're gonna show all the people doing that. It's around the world. It's not just local.
Nah, this shit global.
Look, they say 115 million people signed off after the performance, and they said that because of that, people hated the performance so bad that they didn't want to watch the game. That's BS. They left for 2 reasons. In the first half, at the end of the first half, Donald J left. But they stayed 115 million, or it might have been 175 million. I can't remember. But it was over 100 and something million people. Still watched us all the way through to the end of the performance. And then when Kendrick got done, they was gone.
Damn.
And they end up with a second half viewing of about 65 million people. The average Super Bowl attendance, but they said that Kendrick ran everybody off with his performance. I think they came to see Kendrick.
Man, yeah, this is wow. This was one of them ones, y'all.
This is a cultural divide.
We're gonna put it on the floor. Yeah, we're gonna put it on
We
the
know
floor.
our culture. If you from this land,
this shit bigger than
you know when you see the New Orleans getting ready for Marty Gras, you got two options. Start putting on some feathers or second line march steps practicing. That's it. Or you got to leave. Then that's your other option. Or you got to leave. You can't be down there in their way while they trying to they tell stories with their clothes, with their feathers. They're telling stories. They got history lessons for other tribes that come down there and just how they dressed. That's not just the Mardi Gras celebration is not what all it is to a Mardi Gras Indian. They historians. They telling you what's going on the land. That's why they be trying to villainize it and call it evil all the time. Because they don't want, if there's certain ones of these sisters go down there and they never been down there and see that, she gonna wake straight up. They gonna tell her the whole story and it's gonna turn her mitochondria up and she gonna go back home and she gonna be like, something ain't right. I don't know what it is. But after about a couple weeks, it's gonna click to it and it's gonna be over with. That's that keep us away from it, especially the ones that they call church mothers. The ones that's the church mother, the most powerful sisters in the community. And we thinking that because they in the church, that they from the Jesus story. They ain't from the Jesus story. They from the tribes of the land, and they still carrying out the same function they did in the long house, in the big house, and in the short house. They still doing tribal mother stuff. They just doing it under the color of Christianity now. But you thinking it's Christianity because they doing it, but they ain't doing it where the church came from.
I always say that, especially for people who be knocking Christianity. You can go get your blues, you can go get your R&B, you can go get whatever genre, pop, because we created that too. Ain't nothing coming close to fucking with gospel music. Because that's all us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can bar for bar that. You ain't been to church in 20, 30 years. But that bitch gonna still hit your spirit. And you fuck around and bar for bar. You probably go bar for bar on it. Exclude the Bible. The Bible ain't none of them songs in the Bible. That feeling that I'm talking about that we relate to is not coming out of the Bible. It's us bringing the soul in the building. It's us bringing our system there. You got to understand, when it came in, it wasn't an aggressive takeover. It was a false partnership. So they let them keep their same ways and ways of practice. That's why so many different denominations, because people, different places, worship or celebrated in a different manner. You feel me? So it ain't nothing that because they didn't line everybody up and say, hey, you gonna learn this and learn the Bible and learn it this way. No, ain't no place in history where they set us down and made us learn the Bible. And there's too many people out here saying when they talking about the Bible, they're equating it to us. Now, so yeah, we just going with the soul and the morals, the values, the principles and shit that's instilled in there that we took from Christianity. Not necessarily knowing the book, but how we gonna structure our home, how our women gonna dress, and how they gonna conduct themselves. It was the position, it showed the position of the women and the mothers, like he said, the church mothers. That we gotta talk, you gotta talk about your church mother. If you at Sunday school or any of that, if one of them elders catch your ass fucking up in that nigga, y'all all getting fucked up. And you ain't even gotta be part of the bloodline. But these different morals and values, you before you have sex, you have to get married. When you go on a date, it's chaperone. You have a curfew. If a friend someone do come over, then y'all gonna sit in the area in the front. They're gonna vet the people that's around you, including your friends, unless they grew up with their parents, they grew up with their mothers, who were also a part of the same thing. That was the village. That was the setup for the longest until they introduced the World War I, Vietnam, and the drug epidemic, and in the 90s, the crime bill, you feel me? So on and so forth. But before then, that's our operation. When you go in Mayan history, homie, we went to Mexico this last year, November. Boom, we pop out whenever it was last year. We had what the man tell us. If they was going on a date, Mayan culture, if you go on a date, there was a curfew and you're gonna have a chaperone. And you look at our culture, it's the same morals and principles and values that we put inside of what they call the church. Because without us in there, without us singing, without us playing the instruments, then it is no church. It's just a building. So it was our soul, it was our culture, you feel me, that we brought in there. And they stumping like a motherfucker in church too, you hear me? They got their feathers on. The men had the feathers in their cap. The women had the feathers on their headdresses, different, headdresses, however I'm coming, every color, type shit, foxy mama type shit. Let walk.
The church mothers don't run nothing in Europe. They halfway don't want a woman sitting on the podium in Europe.
For real.
Male chauvinistic pedophile priest cult. Did I leave out homosexual? That's what they is. They don't like women. That's why they keep marrying drag queens. Like Barbara Bush named Big Buddy. Big linebacker.
Let me I'm gonna get to about 2 questions from the family.
Buck, what up though? South Carolina in the building.
Can't be on here too long tonight. Somebody asked, somebody sent a super chat. They asked, oh, by the way, because I see somebody posted your Cash App. Let me throw rods, because I don't want y'all to
look at
anybody else's Cash App and it be the wrong one. All right, I just put, be careful donating to other Cash Apps, family. I don't want y'all to donate to the wrong one. But Rod Hayes Cash App, we got 3,200 people in the digital building. So make sure you support this brother for the information that he gave us tonight. His Cash App is $SICK. That's capital SIK, capital APE. Once again, make sure the spelling is right, family. We don't want this going to the wrong Cash App. Somebody said, "What is your Cash App, Rich?" I'm gonna put it at the bottom of the screen. It's the same name as the channel. $BLACKMAGIK363. Same name as the channel. Same thing. Make sure you support Rod Hayes. Very, very important that when we have individuals like this, that we show the individuals love. And like I said, I just don't want to go into the wrong person. So yeah, we don't want that. But listen, let me get a couple of questions from the family. Somebody with the super chat said, were Moors later called Indians?
In the war, the MUUR Moors is the tribal Moors. The MOOR are European Moors. But the catch term MOOR included both of them when it became the Conjure War. The Conjure War was the death of Crispus Attucks in the Civil War. First blood in the war is one of the chiefs, because you had to establish clear boundaries as who's the attacker and who's the defender. And Crispus Attucks' blood was used to write the corporate constitution, what we call the secondary constitution, that moved the capital from Philadelphia to DC under the corporate jurisdiction in a litigation that one of them European nations said we crashed into their ship. So that was that kept us in litigation, but the litigation was being fought as a war because they was trying to impose they admiralty jurisdiction on the land, and eventually was successful because it wasn't enough of us that was willing to educate ourselves.
Appreciate that love, Buck.
We was content being befuddling idiots.
Okay. Let's get to another.
Oh, one more part to that. So if you're talking to Moors and you want them to talk about the tribes, they call the righteous Moors. The invaders is called dirty Moors.
Right.
And this is why I say when Angel Bay got locked up, I knew that the dirty Moors was behind it because he's the law and he's the main one that they want to keep in prison and under the war protocol because he can call the tribes to war with his oratory. So they want to silence him as much as possible, right? Larry Hoover, even though he was Main 21 ambassador to Stone, became a king with King David. And they was also discussing why he didn't want to be tied in with the P-Stones who were Moors, but they was righteous Moors because the symbols, all of their stone symbolism and they stone codes tell me they tribe. It's a tribe. It's the same red tribe out of the Midwest, old Mississippian. Then when you do the history on Jeff, you find out that he came from Mississippi, just like Larry Hoover, just like King David. And I'm a Mississippian too. My parents has come from directly from Mississippi, and my mama birthed me on the west side of Chicago. They knew I was coming, so they left me messages in hieroglyphics, what we call it graffiti today. But the graffiti, when I walk down the streets of Chicago and read the graffiti, I'm getting messages from Latin kings, Latin counts, Satin disciples, gangster disciples, black gangster disciples, black gangsters, P-Stones, Titanic stones, Cobra stones, vice lords, four corner hustlers, insane, unknowns, travelers. They all telling me the same story. They infiltrating us. They pretending to be us, acting like somebody else the problem, and they making us fight each other. It's in the codes, in the hieroglyphics, or in the graffiti. It's on the walls, on the garages, on the bricks in the tunnels, on the side of the trains. In New York, it's the same message. It's the same message in the hieroglyphics. They don't know they doing it because it's in the blood. It ain't in the mind. It's a natural expression of the self. All you got to do is be authentic, and it's going to come out, and you're going to tell me where to look, and I'm going to know where to look.
Shit, y'all. Wow. This dude got the Holy Ghost in him tonight, y'all.
Yeah.
This dude got the Holy Ghost.
Turn up, huh?
Somebody shout out to another super chat. Somebody said, where is the missing Indian gold under the Twin Towers?
The Bushes had took that and disseminated across Europe. The gold is all being returned, but they're not taking it to Fort Knox right now. They're taking it to an underground base in Colorado.
Why there?
Because it's secure enough, and also the continuity government is in a Raven Rock, Colorado, that's watching all of this play out so that they can make sure we get everything back. When you read the continuity of government FEMA document, it tell you right on the cover that its tribal government is involved. The 9 treaty tribes. We don't got treaties with these people. We not the ones signing treaties with them. The ones that signed treaty got a paper trail to get their stuff back. But we was erased in a paper genocide by burning up our birth records, by burning up our family books, because we had family books that had everybody's name in it. And our big mama used to keep them in her house, and she called it the Book of Life. So that's why they say everybody whose name is written in the Book of Life. But there's a master book written in the ethers. You can't take that book away, but you can burn the physical representation.
Right.
It's just the book. But you can't take it out the ethers. And the ethers is where you get the genetic code for the chiefs to come in and answer for their parishioners, they braves calling for them. They call for us. I need your help, brother. Come help me. They conjured my ass up, Rich. I wasn't supposed to be here.
Turn up.
I'm the chief of last resort. They don't supposed to call me until can't nobody figure it out. I see a whole bunch of people that had it almost figured out until they got murdered.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's get to wow. Let's get to let me see. Hold up now, Rob.
While you doing that, this is for the crowd. If y'all watching, anybody know how to get in touch with Legendarytopcatz, tell them to holler at the chief. I need to holler at him. I'm trying to get him to do some record keeping folks.
Turn up one time.
Indeed.
Or read some records for us. Now, Big Mama used to keep them in her house, and she called it the Book of Life. So that's why they say everybody whose name is written in the Book of Life. But there's a master book written in the ethers. You can't take that book away, but you can burn the physical representation.
Right.
It's just the book. But you can't take it out the ethers. And the ethers is where you get the genetic code for the chiefs to come in and answer for their parishioners, they braves calling for them. They call for us. I need your help, brother. Come help me. They conjured my ass up, Rich. I wasn't supposed to be here.
Hey, if y'all go back to early TOPCATZ, what I always you say? The ancestors sent me to make it clear. So I can't take no L's. I ain't taking no L's. Ain't no nigga finna get with me, halfway get with me, have no good fades with me, nothing. I'm punishing everything. Nigga, the ancestors sent me to make it clear. What I used to tell niggas, I only got one shot. I'm on the singleton mission and I only got one shot in this bitch, nigga, so I can't miss. Bars, turn up.
I'm the chief of last resort. They don't supposed to call me until can't nobody figure it out. I see a whole bunch of people that had it almost figured out until they got murdered.
Talk to them.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to let's get to hold up now, Rob.
While you doing that, this is for the crowd. If y'all watching, anybody know how to get in touch with Legendarytopcatz, tell them to holler at the chief. I need to holler at him. I'm trying to get him to do some record keeping folks.
Indeed.
Or read some records for us.
Indeed.
Easy work. I got you, huh?
TOPCATZ. I'm trying to get in touch with the brother as well. Definitely holler at the brother. Somebody says Shinnecock is mixed with Africans. What's your thoughts on that statement?
They probably is now because a lot of Africans in the last couple 100 years then moved to New York. They got to marry somebody.
But not from that time, not hundreds of years ago, you saying?
No, the Shinnecock is an ancient tribe. It's always been there. The New York area was always been their stronghold, their territory.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They wasn't always called Shinnecock, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, somebody said TOPCATZ mentioned you last night. Okay, yeah. Holla at the brother. And shout out to King Simon in the building as well. Shout out to King Simon. Somebody said, what is the origin of the Moore last name? Moore.
That was given to different people who were swarthy in complexion or dark complected with kinky hair. It was a generalized term like freedman. You got people with the last name Freeman now. That means that they didn't never go into the POW camps that they call today plantations to confuse us. But the name Moore, Moor, it's also the same as the name Moore, Moore. It's also Maury, Mauri. All of those are the term that they gave to the darker people that went into the conflict. All of the black term is a chess term for the defender. And it was specifically referring to the Black Eagle clan, the Black Bear clan, the Black Wolf clan, the Black Deer clan. Those priests is governed under the onyx stone, and a physical responsibility in human form is to do whatever they can to serve as protection for the rest of the tribes. So then that put us in the position where we have to come out of being regular civilians, and now they call in the priest that has a unique set of skills. Some of them you might want, if you want a singing chief or whatever, but he's obscure. So they'll end up getting famous later in life. Like when we needed Robin Cook to come along and tell the BLACKMAGIK363 story, because Bebe was one of the nicknames for Big Mama. So when he's saying Bebe kids, we don't die, we multiply, we thinking he talking about one of these chicks in the hood that got 12 babies by 17 different baby daddies. That ain't what he talking about. He talking about Big Mama. Bebe is a nickname for Big Mama. And she got that from Big Papa. And he also, that term we use today when we referring to our significant other as Bae, that's old. That's old. And that's where you get L's versus Bays. Bay is a Ottoman title of rank. And under a Bay, I think it's like 10 days. Well, 10 DEYs. And today you would call them deacons. Right? But a deacon is a zodiac representation for a house in the zodiac. So you were supposed to be 10 deacons or 10 days under a Bay, and the Bay is a provincial leader. And over the Bays, it's another group called Ali. Ali is the highest rank because when you go from Ali, you become emperor next. You become emperor over a group of Alis. But all that's Ottoman Turkish, which was also established by the same people. When they went through Africa, they got ran clean across the land. That story told by Elijah Muhammad. Everywhere they go, they cause mischief and bloodshed. They cause conflict between two peaceful people. And then they offer them a solution. And I add to that for a fee, because they always going to make sure they put a fee on everything they do. And that's why I don't charge for nothing. If I was a mechanic right now changing the motor, I'd do it for free. Give me what you think you want, what you want to pay. Because it ain't about that. Because everything, money ain't everything. Morals and values, principles, a guy to stand on what he believes in is more valuable to me than damn you got. I'd rather give up all my money to have one loyal person than to be rich and miserable with no loyalty around me.
It's a miserable life to be around a bunch of people with yeah.
Get it. Got me, get it. Everybody supposed to be wealthy over here. When they came over here, there was no poverty. There was no prisons. We follow a certain set standard under the matriarchal order that maintained peace. Nobody had to steal from nobody because everybody was willing to give you anything. All you got to do is ask. And that's where that term, a closed mouth don't get fed. Baby, I ain't know you was hungry because you ain't said you was hungry. That come from Big Mama house. And them smart ass aunties. And Big Mama house always got a bunch of aunties in there because sometimes they husband die off and they move back with Big Mama. And say, no, if I can't have the love of my life, I'd rather be here with my mama. So now you got Big Mama, she got 6, 7 daughters, and they got 6, 7 daughters apiece. And now they all got daughters living in the house with Big Mama, helping Big Mama cook. That's why they don't even have to be from the same family. But if they all in the kitchen, in Big Mama kitchen, they be moving like ballet in the kitchen. Look, Rich, my mama was in the living room laying on her deathbed. She was in a coma state in hospice. And I'm watching these sisters that just met because of my mama. They all love my mama. And they was in there and they was passing stuff where nobody wasn't asking for nothing. How do you know she need the salt? How did you know she wanted an onion out the refrigerator? And they just reach back, boom, somebody passing them something. Ain't nobody talking. They all talking about whatever the main events of the day was. They wasn't even talking about cooking. But when they got done cooking, everything tasted like my mama made. My mama was one of the coldest cooks we ever seen.
I can tell you love your mama, Rod. I can tell you love
people
your
would
mama.
drive to Chicago if they heard my mama was gonna cook a pot of greens.
Yeah.
They drive from Chicago.
Shit.
They drive for an hour away. Detroit, Grand Rapids, all over Michigan. People hear my mama cooking. They coming.
Yeah, man. Oh man, I love this type of talk, y'all. This that soul talk. This is no other word to describe what we had tonight, but straight soul vibrations, family. And this is what it's all about. Let me squeeze in a couple of more. Let me get King Simon. King Simon says, "Hey Rod, isn't the Caribbean a part of the Americas?"
100%. 100%. All of the islands, we would look.
He's hailing from Jamaica, King Simon. He's hailing from Jamaica.
Yeah. So the Big Mama in New Orleans was, or the Big Mama in Gullah Geechee territory, because the Big Mama they was like co-Big Mamas. If one of them died, then the other one got all of the power to the next one is replaced by her blood heir that's responsible. And when she get competent, then the power is distributed on both sides of the Mississippi equally. Right? And from New Orleans was our port. It's where we did all of our trade with the islands. And the Big Mama up here was sending stuff to what became known as Hispaniola, to Cuba, to Jamaica, to St. Croix, all of those islands in Central America. They call them Caribbean islands. They would send delegations with stuff that we grow up here that our Big Mama knew they needed down there. Right? And she would send it to her free. But the side effect is reciprocity. They Big Mama not gonna take nothing for free. So she gonna send her back bananas, or not bananas, because they didn't get over here till later on, but like dates, avocados, and mangoes, and the fruit, jackfruit, and probably some jackfish, all of the stuff that they get down there. She'll send her back a big bundle, come back here. Right? And then when the invaders came, they interrupt first our trade with ourselves to break our unity. When we couldn't trade with each other, we can't communicate, because we can't get across the water without fighting. You got Huguenots and conquistadors patrolling the water, and the Mississippi was the mainland's navy. What you call the Navy today is it's the continuation of the Mississippi riverboat patrols. They used to patrol the rivers, but they only had a couple of boats that used to go to the islands. And so when they run into the Spanish Armada and the Huguenots on the ocean, right? And it's, they got cannons. We wasn't at war. So we had no cannons. So they try to sink the ship. This is where the term "sink my battleship" come from.
Indeed. All right, we're gonna do one last question, then we're gonna get out of here. One last question. Where's that question at? How did we build these beautiful Tartarian buildings, and why was there a mud flood reset? Was it to hide free energy?
No. The reset, anytime you have a mass reset, it was some side effect of war. The different cities that were recently flooded is not the ancient sediment of the what you call in Tartarian is actually anything west of Rome. And it comes from the name of Tartarus, which is Antarctica, before the ice. So when you're talking Tartarian, you're really talking Atlantean, but they trying to confuse you about what you're talking about. The Earth was an Atlantean civilization. civilization. The capital was the Atlan, which was the Americas, which was where the Temple of Isis and the Temple of Tahuti in the Grand Canyon, that used to be the capital. And the island, which was a landmass, it was a continent that became Antarctica after it froze, which I ain't gonna get into that right now because that's a whole nother story. But Tartarus was then covered with ice, but it was a desert, right? So when you read about Tartarus, they're talking about Tartarus is southwest extreme of Rome. So they people confusing y'all, giving it all these other names like Hyperborea, Tartaria, Lemuria. Lemuria is a region under the Atlantean civilization, which was a global civilization, a one world order before we was split up for warfare after the Anunnaki Wars or the Vamanus Wars, when America was sent into a nuclear winter after a nuclear holocaust. That's why we know we don't want to do it again.
Man, y'all asked, he delivered. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all for coming out tonight. Damn, we got a packed house. We got 3,500 people. Make sure y'all support the brother Rod Hayes. I think you said you taking a break, right, Rod? Are you
Yeah, I need to take a break, man. I'm burnt out right now.
What a way to close out before you take a break, Rod. What a way to close out. With that being said, man, I want to thank you once again, brother, for coming on the show. Definitely, I'm gonna send you that non-ether joint, so you're gonna really enjoy that. I'm gonna send you that. Email you. What's your email?
I don't use it, but I'll tell you, I'll send it to you in the text because I don't use it, but I can't manage all of the stuff I manage and be as effective as I need to be. So I have to restrict what I manage. That's why I keep everything to Facebook, Instagram, and then I do guest appearances on YouTube shows.
Indeed. Yeah. Because
time management is critical, baby. If you don't know what you're doing, you overwork yourself, especially trying to do what I'm doing. Very,
very important, time management. Very important. All right, family. With that being said, I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. Ani Asaru will be on tomorrow, and he's doing a show on the physics of candle magic. It's gonna be an awesome show. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow night. The physics of candle magic. With that being said.
What the right to enforce the great law. And enforce the great law, we start then begin to unify all of the clans under that one ideology of the great law. We all know what it is, all of the clans, but we got different ways of saying it. Even the sub-clans that broke off into religious groups, they all got their way of saying it. The golden rule, do unto others. What goes around comes around. You reap what you sow. But the great law cannot be negated. It come a time where the people with the birthright have to execute their ancestral rights to restore balance back to the people of Earth. This is what we doing. So they ain't doing the historical part, right? I'm doing the metaphysical decoding of all of the stuff that happened. And TOPCATZ is quoting all of the laws that was passed while they was doing all of the stuff that dang historical research confirms and my metaphysical research confirms. So now we got a cross-reference. This is what you call a fatherland flip. Now, here go the irony, dang. Are we doing this, right? The Empress on her channel calling the matriarchs together. So all y'all watching, when y'all get done watching us over here, go over to the Empress channel and get those numbers up, because we trying to get this message to as many of the tribes people as possible to have as many of them involved in reclaiming our birthright as possible. And part of it is the chiefs that's doing the work. right? I'm called a long-faced chief from the Bird Clan, an Algonquin, by physical description. Dane is what you call a round-faced chief. One of the ones they would have called him Sonny Boy or Sonny Lee. All of those is telling you what his clan ranking is that the family ascribed to him. So when they send him out, the people know how to analyze him to determine if he's one of the chiefs that's coming to get our birthright restored. And then they watch for his works. His work speaks for itself. The same with TOPCATZ. Same with me. They said that these country boys wasn't gonna never outthink them slickers. So what happened? Our parents moved us to the city so that we can get the city slickers' slickness out the way so that we can apply this country wisdom to it to straighten it all out.
Make it clear.
All right, hold up. I'm gonna ask TOPCATZ that same question. Hold up, is my mic on? Okay, it is on. Same question, TOPCATZ. It's like,
Bro,
where do you see that common goal? What's your take on that common goal?
When we look at the common goal, you know, especially in this age right now, I mean, it's real clear. Because we was to go back 5-10 years ago, you know, the world didn't look like this. And right now, we dealing with a great awakening right now of masses of people, you know, even people that's getting the wrong type of information out there, you know what I mean? It's still something inside of them that waking everybody up. Their common goal is going to be some people who was given the eyes to see, the ears to hear, and that country wisdom and that ancient wisdom, that confirmation from the ancestors that's going to send us out here to the people, you know what I mean, with the message of the ancestors to bring it all together. Because it's some people out there who haven't heard us three speak yet, but, you know, they're on a journey looking for this type of information. And, you know, one day we'll cross paths, you know, but right now, what we on the front line doing, you know, we're here to clean up a lot of the mess. It was, I mean, we come back in this time for a reason. I feel like because all of us, you know, old enough to have came here, you know, at least 10 years ago, at least 15 years ago, you know, and be out here with a message. But for us to be collectively here at the same time, while the Great Awakening is happening, because it was teachers and it was people who came before us, but for some reason we was called to come back in this time, you dig? So I feel like and it ain't even no pressure on our shoulders, you know what I mean? And it also ain't no giants for us to really stand on, not coming from this field right here. So like the title say, we have developed and became, you know, that representation of the ancestors here in the most crucial time that, you know, that it was needed when the Great Awakening started to happen. You feel me? So, man, I feel like that common ground and that purpose that's out there is being served right now, man. And tonight again, this is confirmation. You feel me?
Absolutely, and I'm thankful that it happened. Like-minded brothers. So y'all don't see this a lot. Like, if you really think about it, you don't get a chance to see this a lot. What do we see? We see our people attacking each other, killing each other. There's a reason for that. There's multiple reasons for that, but the majority of it has to deal with the fact that they know who we are. So, and what I mean by they is mainly foreigners. They want us to be separate. They don't want us to come together and unify. For this reason, because they see how powerful we are individually, and even more powerful when we come together. I say on that note, real quick, TOPCATZ, I'm gonna come to you on this one. What's your take on the American Indian indigenous, what I want to call it, paradigm? Why is that so important?
Man, it's so important because it's the message that we got from home. if people wanted to be honest, then we'll come out and say that these lives that they're living is a life that somebody else gave to them. It's a paradigm that was created that was different than what came out of the house. Even if somebody grew up, even if they grew up in, let's say, any one of these other doctrines, I'll just say that instead of putting a name on it so nobody feels no type of way. But even if they came up out of these, a lot of people don't understand that these are doctrines. And so, to give a small example, we'll come back in the 1920s, what they call the Harlem Renaissance. In this era, the Moorish Science Temple, the Hebrew Israelites was popping, Marcus Garvey, the UNIA, which he came pushing a message of people, well, the Hebrews here, and he also came with the Back to Africa joint. So, and then you had Rabbi Matthew Josiah Ford, who was in his organization in UNIA, and they come with the Commandment Keepers. The Hebrew Israelites was birthed out of this movement. A lot of people don't know they was funded by white people, though. But we'll move over that. So you had the Moorish Science Temple as well. You had the African Brotherhood with brother that came from the islands. And to note this here too, all of those individuals I just named, all of those are coming from the islands.
St. Kitts.
They all came here with identities for us. You feel me? And they not even from here. So they came here with identities, and a lot of these identities has turned into, a lot of those thought processes has turned into doctrines today that our people are living their life in. And that's not to say some of these people are not bloodline tied to some of these things somewhere in the past, but for the majority of us here, those things did not associate with us, and this was the reason why they came telling us this is your identity. Fast forward, but at the house, we getting a different message, and that have convoluted and disconnected a lot of people from their roots. And I feel like it's super important now because right now it's so many people, man. I done had people cry and everything, man, and I call it tears of joy because they didn't catch it while their ancestors was here. When their grandparents was here and they was telling them these things, and then to look back and go through whatever denominations or these groups they came through, and to come out now and say, man, I can actually be me now. I can actually stand, and they taking on the responsibility to go pick up what a family left out and go back and start rebuilding. So I feel like right now it's one of the greatest times to be alive because people are actually living in their truth. People are not asking questions anymore. Who am I? That was the greatest question here. I seen people want flags. I seen them, that they
right.
walked around and probably recognized themselves as a slave. All of these things that were brought to them, and all they had to do was hear somebody say, "Hey, what did your family tell you?" Or go talk to your family. And when they returned, that was it. I've never seen nobody go back after they had that conversation or they remember what was told to them in the house. And so, it's a great time to be alive right now.
It's up.
Now, if the brothers can't hear the effects, y'all, okay? But y'all know what I'm doing. I want to get your take on that, Brother Rod. That right after, like, oh my God, man, I'm excited.
Turn up, Danny.
This is needed. This is needed. Now, so what's your take on that to piggyback off of what TOPCATZ said? Rod, you there, right?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clear.
Allow me.
So the question was about the current realization of the identity of who we are as being original to over here, right?
Correct.
And the purpose of that is because we have the first right to claim of the lands that they call Turtle Island.
Now, not to cut you off, brother. Now, hit them with why that's so important, though. That right there, so they can know. They got to know this.
That's where I'm going with this, Dane.
Let's get it.
Because so now they paper genocided us. They misclassified us. They gave us an erroneous history to divorce us from the land. This is the George Washington challenge. This was the 200 years blood conjure Crispus Attucks to keep us from violating the blood ritual that they did in the lodges after the American so-called Revolution. Remember, the Boston Tea Party was about a 2% tax increase on a beverage. But now we getting taxed every which way but loose, but ain't nobody protesting. We getting taxed at the register, at the car dealer. We buy a house and we still paying taxes on it. We want to drive, we got to go pay taxes in the form of driver's license and license plates and registrations. And ain't none of these people that's demanding this from us supposed to even be here.
Relax and take notes.
We are in a police state, and the only way out is to acknowledge our birthright as to who we are and realize what was happening with the paper genocide. Because now, after 200 years, we know the difference between us and the Negropeans that masqueraded as us, that signed all of them erroneous treaties pretending to be us, but they didn't even have none of the names of none of the chiefs. No treaty is named, there is no treaty with Chief Standing Wolf as the signature on the treaty. No signature of the treaty of Chief Stormcloud. That's not on none of the treaties. All of the names are Western names, what we call English names, European names. These are not our people making these agreements, but they making these agreements at our expense. When you go into their judicial system, they label all of the 9 treaty tribes as belligerents and outlaw tribes in they legal documentation. They called us perpetual enemies to the state. This is the justification for COINTELPRO. To get rid of the leaders, the little young and upcoming chiefs before they realize that they have a right to oust these imposters from the land by blood right, by recognizing who they are. They told us that our chiefs was gang leaders. They ain't never tell us that gang mean tribe. And very few of us had the audacity to go look it up and find out that a gang was just another way of saying tribe, but you got to give it a negative connotation. So when you see these vice lords, these GDs, they tribing up and they establishing their territorial boundaries and they calling it gang war. But the war part was being instigated under the COINTELPRO operations by putting plants in that sick the vice lords on the GDs and the plant in the GDs that sick the GDs on the vice lords. So now it looked like some ignorant buffoons is out in the street blatantly killing each other with no direction, aim, or purpose, but there's an unseen hand at work. They have it documented, they infiltration tactics, techniques, they federal informant program, they government snitch program. They got the whole video of the one that looked like us explaining how the FBI was having them infiltrate everything we did. Right. So they going all out of their way to make sure that we never realize that we have a autonomous sovereign right to serve notice and shut their system down. This is why in their Declaration of Independence, they say when the government go rogue, you call on the spirits of the earth. The spirits of the earth is gonna manifest as tribal chiefs. This is the part they ain't telling you. When you call on the spirits of the earth, they're gonna be the tribal chiefs that's gonna come back. It's gonna take a couple generations of eyes on the problem before we produce an offspring, because the prayers of the nation, that's the womb of the mother. So we gonna produce an offspring, a group of offspring gonna come about that with the solutions to the problem that the last 2-3 generations was looking at.
It's go time, Slim.
So this gonna tie all of them organizations together, and somebody gonna have to explain how, even though it looked like they was misleading us, some of them was giving us codes. Like the reason Marcus Garvey came with the Back to Africa is because they had already took some of us to Africa, and he wants you to be aware. but he can't tell you because of the George Washington challenge and the Masonic oaths that's tied to it, and he was a Prince Hall Freemason. So he can't come directly out and tell us, but he could spell it out in a series of codes that any other chiefs that develop itself to a certain level will clearly be able to see what's going on. And then you'd be able to see that at the end of the day, it wasn't the pale face that brought him down. It was some people that looked like us.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing with Noble Drew Ali. The police couldn't have never got to him to abuse him in their system if his buff tees didn't leave him hanging. Because back then, the police wasn't like they is now. They wasn't paramilitary troops. They was some old goofies walking around with a badge enforcing the policy of a corporation. They had to deceive the people with the appearance of legitimacy by wearing uniforms. They call it a uniform system. So the importance of us and the re-emergence of the knowledge of self is what's telling us we from this land. And that knowledge of self is going to give us a system of activity tied to raising the matriarchy in order to get the tribal mother's position back in place, because they got the first right of claim to the land. When we do that, the people who wrote the paperwork up got to give the foundational documents to the rightful heir that they've been watching since birth. So they know who we all are.
They do. They do.
So one of us on the fatherland, the ruler guys, have to go out and put it in the public domain using the oral tradition of the tribes. How do I know this? Because it's in the UNDRIP, the United Nations Indigenous Rights Act. It tells us that if we go back to our oral tradition and we follow our tribal ways, they gave us everything back in both documents. They gave it back, but we have to follow the oral tradition of our people, or else we'll be using a system, and your enemy not gonna never give you a system to free you from him. So you have to use your own system. Ours was the oral tradition of reclaiming everything in the public domain. So the people watching it, they don't know what they watching, but it's bigger than it seemed to be. It's just that when the realization set in, that's when the hammer dropped. So I've been giving instructions to Empress Redbird about following the matriarchal order, because when I closed all their contracts from their July the 4th expiration date in 2019, I did a public notice on the 6th. 13 days later, they give her on the 19th the documents that serves as their foundational document to all of the deeds to the land. Once they did that, that's giving us all of the land back. All we have to do is make the clansmen wear now, because the tribal tradition is to make as many clans people informed of the actions of the tribal leadership as it's taking place as possible while it's taking place. So we're showing you us reclaiming everything in the public domain we're not asking for them. We're doing it because everything we do is time-stamped in archivable format that's viable for all public and legal notices. So every time we come out like this right here, this is what you call Three Kings Talking. It's an old Southern Louisiana conjure. You got Three Kings Talking precedes the Three Kings Walking, which is the reverse conjure to the three ships that came over here. That was all sorcery. The Santa, the Nina, and the Pinta, the Nina, and the Santa Maria, right? But the Mayflower was the Plymouth, and Malcolm said we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us, where they left a rock to commemorate where they accused us in the international courts of crashing our landmass into their ship to tie us up in the salvage right in order for them to institute an eminent domain.
Yeah,
eminent.
No, you're right. They tried to make it seem like it was our fault, and they took advantage of that.
Right. So under eminent domain, they instituted what's called the squatters' rights.
Yeah.
And the salvage right is the what the squatter right fall under. And the salvage right is they claim that our landmass crashed into their ship. They classifying our landmass under the jurisdiction of admiralty, which makes anybody who walked the land civilly dead. So that each one of us become a vessel lost at sea, and every time they capture one of us and log us in their system, they getting paid for a salvage redemption of a civilly dead individual that they was able to capture him as a straw man.
Made him property.
Yeah. But now, when we recognize who we are, we say, wait a minute, we no longer accept the Admiralty jurisdiction because your jurisdiction expired July the 4th, 2019. We know it expired because the Republican debate had no American flags, and it had a navy blue background, which means that now we was free at sea to reclaim ourselves from the salvage right. But none of the chiefs knew what to do. I'm not finna sit around and wait the whole 72 hours. I'll wait 48 hours. Then I did what we supposed to do. One of the chiefs have to put it in the public domain that we canceled a contract for fraud and for non-performance.
All right, fam. Appreciate y'all pulling up, coming through, rocking that. This was a good bill. Been here over 3 hours. 10 o'clock, almost 11 on the East Coast. Y'all be cool. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. Y'all already know how it goes. As long as we got each other, we don't need nobody else. Indian gang, it don't bang. We gone.
Only thing that's saving you is the heart of a woman. Yeah. The only thing that's saving you is the heart of a woman. Yeah. Question is why I do the things I do. Answer I may never find, but I'll always choose you. Wanna give up on you, but I know I can't. I put the blame on me for giving you chance after chance. I love what you can't stand. Can I try to be strong? But how much can I put your words on your life this time? And I hope you ain't lying, 'cause only that's saving you is the heart of a woman. I don't really wanna stay, I don't really wanna go, but I really need to know. Yeah. I don't really wanna go. You don't know the pain that I feel. You've taken my love for granted, and you just wanna see it your way. Yeah, it's about that time. I'm gonna tell you what's on my mind. I'm fed up with you not being here with me.
When love is all I need.
I don't want to go.
Girl, you jamming a little too hard. Girl, you enjoying this goddamn song a little too hard. You must, your little fast. This was your song. You was a little fast something when this was out, huh? Yeah. You goddamn me going back in time on this. You singing a little too loud over there. Sweet feather, Miss Agave.
And I don't wanna. I don't really wanna go. I don't really wanna stay. Don't want to stay. together. Let's get it together, babe. I can't let go, 'cause being confused just takes control. I hope we can start brand new.
DC in the building. Washington, DC in the building.
With the love we share,
Baby,
baby,
you
so
know,
rare.
I'm
Well, let
willing
me
to.
try and make you see that all you need is hearing me.
Hold up.
I don't want to stay.
How come?
I don't want you to let me know how you feel. I don't want to stay. Don't want to go. You've gotta let me know just how you feel. I don't wanna stay, no. I don't really wanna go, and I don't want to go. Get it together. Come on, babe, let's get it together. I really wanna go. I really hope can we get it together? Come on, boy. Get it together. Yeah. See, I'm so confused.
Uh-oh.
I
just
don't know what to do. I don't understand. No.
Hold up.
You know I don't wanna stay. You know I don't wanna go. Baby, please listen to
Talk
me.
to me.
I don't wanna. I really wanna stay. Don't wanna go. I really need to know. Can we get together? I hope, I pray, baby.